So, long story short, there were two individuals that came out. You met a member of the followers of Zil and a member of the rebellion named Elwin Bragion and Liari Ranzuman. And there was some bartering that went back and forth as to maybe having Duke resurrected. It was agreed upon that you guys would go in and clear out this museum or dungeon in order basically for him to do that ceremony or do the resurrection. Correct me if I'm wrong, Eric, that was the agreement. There was no money involved, although there was a diamond that was offered up, as well as one of Threll's bows was placed upon, and some words said by everyone. Xander probably would have had some words to say as well if Xander had been there, but it was successful. Introductions were made. You guys made your way into the cave where Sheikhu, just a wandering adventurer, decided to introduce themselves and jump into the fray. You guys got in a long rest. In the midst of which Razir heard some sounds coming from the cave down below during that long rest that everyone was getting, and had some interactions. The crows numbering into well over 100, kind of on the outskirts of the clearing that was there. In the morning, Duke needed to have some of his tiredness cleared away from him with some form of restoration, so another bartering scenario took place where Zanladir convinced Elwin to remove some of the exhaustion that Duke was suffering, with the agreement that the party would go on Zanladir's next journey for free. That was the understanding and the agreement that was made. And so Duke is only has -1 to his rolls now at this point. You guys made your way down into the cave upon reaching the bottom, seeing before you like a old tent and some crates and some rocks kind of strewn about, and a fire that had long gone out. A figure had stepped out from behind one of the rocks and engaged everyone in conversation. I don't know how to describe this person to Jason, even though everybody else was here for the conversation, because everybody had kind of mixed feelings that this guy's evil, but also go ahead, Adam.
Shady cave dweller.
Gollum.
Yeah,
oh,
I'm
dude,
mixing Gollum and Kermit.
I did not make the connection that this was Adam's character. My first thing was going to be to insight check it.
No, this wasn't his character. This was who is his character.
Right.
Before we went in.
Oh, we're talking about a different...
Yeah, this is some weird thing that popped out from behind the rocks after we went down.
A shady cave dweller.
That's like Gollum.
So this character kind of...
Vados, right?
Vudos.
Vudos, yeah.
Vudos. Who has the voice of characters I've played in the past, but kind of like a dark gray skin that's just kind of not sickly looking. Just picture Gollum from Lord of the Rings, essentially, but wearing very fine clothing, kind of like black and red robes, kind of pulled up, a saber on one side and a staff. But this figure is only 3 feet tall, max. Kind of exuding this power behind them, but also referencing the fact that there's a master of this place who Vudos serves. There was an explanation as to the fact that there are soul jars within this place. It's a lot of this RP that would take me minutes and minutes to explain all of. I guess you guys can maybe talk about it in character to kind of maybe, so I don't have to reiterate everything. But you agreed to smash or break his soul jar, which holds his part of his soul in it, apparently, at the end of this dungeon to release him from the bonds that keeps him from leaving this place. And in return, he gave 3 fire bullets to Threll and kind of showed you or told you about the location of a secret door somewhere off of the main chamber within the museum. You guys then, he decided to, can't remember exactly, I should have watched the end of the video last week, but I didn't do it. He went over and decided to sit in front of his makeshift fire, and he was eating some old rotten tentacles that were kind of laying on the ground that were there, and I can't remember exactly what he said he was doing. He was waiting for you guys to go in and do your thing.
He was gonna make some tea.
Okay.
He also said he was gonna, if we do break his soul jar, he was gonna kill his master.
And then himself.
Eventually, yeah.
And then
Yeah,
himself.
true.
Or then die.
He used
And
to
that-
be
He's
an elf.
like murders
Okay.
outside his master.
He said-
Noted.
He said that he used to be an elf and that you could see the visage of the person whose soul is trapped in the soul jar within it, and that he used to be an elf, or that's what you'll find inside of his. He also mentioned that there's a curse put upon people, or the way that souls are collected into soul jars, in this case, is when someone chooses to take items away from the museum. Like that, he actually mentioned that there's lots of secrets, lots of traps to be found, and lots of like magical items and loot to be found within this location, but that when you take it and then make the decision to leave with it, that is when his master takes a portion of you and stores it inside of one of these jars. There was a lot more to that conversation that Jason probably would have liked to have been privy to, but here we are.
It's okay.
After he departed from
doing
the
it.
group, you guys decided to proceed forward down the central. Oh, also it was said that if you wanted to get to your destination you're looking to go to, the right path was the fastest way to get there. The left one was a little bit easier to get into the main part of the museum, and straightforward was the most difficult. I don't remember exactly what he said as far as that's concerned. You could tell that
It's dangerous or something like that.
the most
'Cause we-
dangerous, I believe.
We looked at the central one, and it was a very small gap that we shimmied through. There was a door. Underneath the door, there's a bunch of freaking teeth,
Uh-huh.
and we're all
But-
just like, nah, we're not. No, that would different one. Thanks.
Oh, that's right, the giant maw of
Yeah.
the door
there's
that we walked
a
into.
slightly ajar door,
Ajar.
and
Ajar.
on the other side is
Ajar.
just a wall of teeth, basically, and we're kind of just there for them at the moment.
And a gullet. It looked like a throat, right? Or something like that.
So,
I'll do that.
what is the, because we're going to pick back up right at the moment when you get to the end of this and have visual on what I described when we ended last session. What is the marching order? We're going to put you in the tunnel there. We'll probably just end up backing everybody out because that's what you said you were going to do, but I want to
Yeah.
get into drop into the RP of this. Oh, it's paused. There you go. Please don't move yourselves outside of things like the map, because you should have control over your characters.
And Jason, just before we forget, we switched up the magical
what
items.
I'm fixing that right now.
All right. So you basically have expertise in nature, arcane,
I was gonna say they
level.
they leveled up too, so we're super
Yeah,
cool
History.
now.
so I'm fixing that right now.
Alright.
So just I'm listening. I'm just doing that while I have the chance.
Back in there. Oh.
So basically, this crack, this crevice in the middle of the cave that you're in, right? Remember that it tapers down almost like a bell on one side down into this cave, and then at the end of it is this crack that goes almost all the way up to the top, and at the base of it is just wide enough for a person to fit themselves through, and it's pitch black, and there's like rocks kind of hanging down it on angles on the inside of having to meander through here. I'm just trying to get a marching order for the front.
I guess
who would have
I
gone in
could go up
first?
front.
Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and actually... It may have passed you outside of the map there for a second. I hope it didn't, but it may have.
Don't think it did.
Okay. Thrall, Razir, who's up next?
I'll go third.
Okay, so we're acting like I'm attuned to these things. Like we don't have a homebrew item, right? So we're just saying.
No,
that
we
I
don't.
am?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, just remember it's a two.
Okay.
Yeah.
Noted.
Oh yeah, that's right. We did the items one.
Okay.
All right, nobody speaking up about who's going in here. So right now
That
it's
looks fun.
Louise, and then I'm going to say Duke was next, maybe?
Correct.
Okay, and then it would have been Sheku. So I'm going to move Sheku up there.
I'll go.
Okay. And then Thrall Actually, it probably would have been Zanladir, and then Xander.
Yeah, we got to bring him with us, don't we?
Xander, and then Thrall probably would have been taking up the rear, I would assume.
With
And you've got the
real
bear.
wisp.
Is he a bear? He's a bear, right?
Yeah, he's a bear right now.
Dude, this is so ridiculous. I have a plus 11 on religion checks.
Uh-huh. Oh, we know from last session.
That's
Yeah.
so ridiculous.
And since
and
we leveled
Arcana
up,
checks and history checks. That's so ridiculous.
you should also have it in with nature.
Yeah, well, with
'Cause-
nature, I just get proficient with it.
Yeah, but the first section says you get proficiency with it, and afterwards the next section says any of those skills you have proficiency with, you get expertise.
Oh my
And
god,
those
you're
you
right.
don't, you get proficiency.
And I'm already proficient in everything, so I just...
Yeah, you just get expertise in all of them.
Oh, this is genius.
So if there's a door here, and if I open it, everybody like Razier with the ridiculous vision they have is just gonna be able to see all inside of this thing. So I'm not gonna do that. But what I will say is that it's partially ajar, and at this point you guys have like crawled your way underneath several rocks and kind of crawled on your stomach forward. Louise, you being at the front, you seeing this door partially ajar, and you're like finally, and you like grab onto the door and try to pull it open, but it's like stuck against a rock, which would mean you'd have to like wedge yourself up and alongside it to barely squeeze inside. But as you pull on the door, it kind of like thumps, and you look around the side of it, and there's just a row of teeth, and the smell of rotten meat just into your face, which you guys would have been smelling the entire time as you were clambering down this very thin tunnel. But everybody else is behind you, and like Sheikh's like stuck underneath a rock, and like Razier is like pushed up against something trying to avoid. Everybody's kind of just squeezed into the space. What are you doing at the front of the group?
Guys, you may not like me right now, but I think we should go back. There's this giant, like, I don't even know how big it is because I can only see its mouth.
Yes, I see it too. It is this is concerning.
It's like in the wall.
I'm assuming you're whispering all of this.
Yeah, as much trying to speak.
I'm asking you, like, it's in the wall, or can I not see this?
It's on the other side of the door that is very slightly ajar. So only really the person up at the front can see around the door, the partially opened door, and look inside to see these teeth that are right there. It's like a double door, and one of them is partially open, and he's like looking around the side and seeing its face like parked. It's probably, I mean, Louise, it's probably like from your perspective, you're literally laying on the ground looking up at it, and it's maybe 4 foot high mouth.
Yeah,
Let's not walk into the mouth.
yeah.
Hey man, I'm squished. If we're crawling back, can we crawl back?
Yeah, I think that's the best thing we can do right now.
Okay.
Start shimmying back.
Do an air fryer thing?
Yes, I did.
Did you burn the biscuits again?
No.
Okay.
Again, you burn biscuits on the regular.
So Zanladir, who's also like barely kind of scrunched in a particular position in between two of you, is like, so if we're not going to continue, are we going to like make our way around a different way? I mean, this is the main path that you said we were going to go through, and we know there's going to be dangers, right? So we're just going to try something else.
But
We
the
said we'd
danger
take a
of a
look, and
mouth.
if it's not good, we'd go back another way. And I, for one, don't feel like walking right into the mouth of a beast.
I have just come back to the land of the living. I do not wish to be digested at this point.
Hey man, fair is fair. Why don't we just shimmy on out and you can go on in and see what's up to the big mouth?
Is this guy a hippie?
He
Is he a
is.
hippie?
He is very much a hippie.
Dude, man, come on.
No, bring Jeff back. Oh my gosh.
Dude, no, man. Jeff's more like surfer. This guy's like, hey man, look,
And
I'm just trying to get high, dude. Okay.
yeah, and
Well,
Jason-
he's squished under a rock right now. He's holding up the rock, trying to get out from being
Jason,
squished.
to cast his magic, he lights up joints.
No way. Dude,
Oh yeah.
that's so live. That is so live. I need never mind.
He's a druid, and his spellcasting focus is his glass pipes. So every day he prepares spells in the form of the joints that he has, and to cast he pulls them out, smokes it, and casts it with smoke.
That's so tight. That's so tight.
Yeah. I'm proud of that one mechanic that I came up with.
Oh man,
Flavor mechanic.
that's amazing.
Anywho.
Yeah,
let's leave
anywho.
the tunnel.
Okay, so you guys start making your way back towards the exit. I just want everybody to make a perception check for me, please. As you're exiting.
Can't I use my passive?
18.
26.
11.
You beat
Holy
my
cow.
passive perception.
Your passive's 25.
Yes.
Wow.
Dude,
Okay.
my passive is 18.
That's
Oh, can
insane.
I just use my passive? Oh, what to say?
Not when I asked for a roll.
I'll never work.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, at this point, it's like every single person, as you're walking past the first person, which is the bear, is exiting, but Threll, you're kind of like starting to make your way out, and your left hand just like goes through the wall. And like you're trying to brace yourself, and it's just like, "Ugh!" And all of a sudden you're like halfway into something. And with your dark vision, you kind of like turn, and the dust is settling, and like a rock hits your arm and doesn't do any damage, but it's just like, oh, that stinks, and kind of falls out. It seems like off to your left now, as you're exiting, there's some other kind of tunnel that partially is broken. You'd have to clear the rocks either further into it or out into where you are, which would block the tunnel that you're trying to get back through into the main room. What do you do?
I was like, hey guys, I've got a neat little thing over here.
What's that?
What is it?
I'm.
It's like it's a whole other tunnel.
I have heard your people are good with rocks and tunnels. Can you
Man.
tell us anything else?
Love rocks, love tunnels. All right, so we got some glamantrophite, rock face right here. I don't know rocks.
Glamantrophite. That's a good one.
Yep.
Sounds like a real rock to me.
It's a real rock, yeah.
It does.
It's nice sedimentary formations.
Sedimentary. Is that then their sedimentary for
Sedimentary.
Yep.
They're metamorphical.
Oh my gosh.
Anywho's there's another tunnel this way. But the only way to get in, I gotta get some of these rocks out.
Do you want to maybe go all of us back up?
Xander,
When I'm in front of the hole, I clear it the other way so we can all go in?
I mean, you guys are trying to like whisper, and you're all like crammed inside of a thing. So you're like whispering, and you're like trying to see through the rocks that have fallen down and through your friends. You're the furthest back from him. So like Xander can see the
I thought
opening.
we were further down the hole, the back. That's why.
Can I?
Hey, man. Claustrophobic, man. I'm trying to get out this tunnel.
Could I use my mage hand to start moving rocks?
Are you gonna put them in my way?
I mean,
Push them
most
away.
of the rocks here are larger than what Mage Hand is going to be able to
All right.
hold.
Can I mold earth with my cantrip?
If it's loose earth, loose dirt,
Yeah. Wouldn't this be loose dirt and stone?
these are rocks.
Oh,
Sounds like stone to me.
yeah, stone. Right.
Yeah,
Earth.
dirt
Earth.
is just pulverized
Almost
trees and stuff
the
like
earth,
that. So
bro.
basically rocks, right?
Dirt or stone, not dirt and stone. Dirt or stone. This is loose stone. We
No,
moved
no.
it with our
This is the
hands.
same exact problem we ran into last time we played, where you were misinterpreting what it says, and that's fine. But we're just gonna look at it again real quick.
Stone I can see. It's a 5-foot cube.
Yeah.
But move it.
No, the part that for actually moving it only works with loose dirt.
No, it says an area of loose earth.
Earth. Yeah. So
Earth
this
is
is dirt.
dirt.
This is earth.
Yeah.
Earth is dirt or stone.
No.
Not like
No, so you would not be able to
Rocks.
affect this stone that is here, because it is not loose dirt.
It's loose earth.
It is rocks and boulders. And so that's the last thing I'm going to say on it. Your ability doesn't...
Actually, the last bit might help a little bit, where if the dirt or stone you target is on the ground, you can make it become difficult terrain or normal terrain.
Yeah,
How would that-
just dirt anywhere?
you-
All the
you-
stuff is dirt.
It's
Well, I
not
don't
difficult
mind.
terrain. It's just blocked. It's a wall.
Walls
It's
are
not
difficult
half moon.
terrain.
It's
I want
not
to be over
moon.
there.
Okay, so the rocks and stones that are in the way of this tunnel are already difficult terrain from the perspective of you can't pass them unless you move them. If you'd like to make them more difficult terrain, you're welcome to do that. But you cannot take them and move them because you don't have telekinesis, and that's not how this ability works.
Yeah.
So
That's we're playing in dirt.
this is not a puzzle. This is just some rocks that are in the way of a tunnel. What would you like to do with the rocks?
All a puzzle. Eat them.
I eat the
Let's-
rocks.
And when we look
The
back on this
rocks.
session and you guys spent 15 minutes on the pile of rocks in front of the tunnel, What-
Okay,
You're not
here's
giving us
Thrall's
block
blocking.
doors to ponder hours up upon, so we gotta find our dumb vices.
I mean, I would move, but I'm not next to it.
we're gonna leave the tunnel, and then we're gonna come back in, and we're
Okay.
gonna what we're gonna do is we're gonna pass the rocks to each other and put it out into the main.
and Thrall is saying this as she is exiting, and as you one by one
Yes.
walk past it, you see this. Everybody has dark vision now at this point. Can see that there's like this little 1 foot by 1 foot like opening where one of the boulders had fallen forward, and you can see that there's a tunnel that continues forward in the eastern direction, according to the map. Does anybody do anything else, or are you gonna enact this carrying the boulders out one at a time and passing them through the chamber to get them out?
Carry them out one
Might
at
as
a
well.
time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Form a chain. Everybody form a chain.
Okay.
Clear them out,
Take-
and then go check out secret tunnel. Secret tunnel.
Tunnel.
Okay.
Secret
Secret
tunnel.
tunnel.
Rude about
Takes you
it.
guys a few minutes to kind of get organized and then start like hauling them out. And some of them are heavier, and maybe Cheku wants to find that there's a crack in one of the larger boulders that's made of loose dirt and is able to pull it apart and make it easier to move the boulders out of the way.
A boulder made of loose dirt.
There's
Loose
a
dirt's
part of
around the boulder.
it. Exactly.
All right.
Dried up
Turns
ball.
out
You-
it's just a dirt clod.
Okay. You eventually clear it away. Do you guys want to maintain your same marching order?
Yes.
Okay. So then we're going to bring everybody back down here. Oops. Yeah, you can move your own tokens, I guess. I'm just trying to bring everybody down.
Sure, I don't want to go too far. So yeah, that's all right. I don't see around the corner.
Right.
There's enough.
So it looks more finely carved than the crevasse that you were just in. It looks hollowed out by someone. You can laugh at me, Felix, for using a word that probably is a French word. And that's
Yeah, it is. It's just how you said it after, like crevasse, then crevasse. You just pronounce it the other way.
I don't know how it's pronounced.
It's pronounced
In French,
crevasse.
we pronounce it crevasse, but there's like English pronunciation and stuff, so it's
It's better to cover all your bases. Just say it every single
Crevice.
week.
Yeah, just
Crevasse.
say it every
Okay.
time.
Just
So that
don't say the vowels, and you'll get the French pronunciation.
okay. Sanladier also moves forward, and Thrall's just
Still bringing
there you
him?
go. He's
Yeah.
this isn't one of the chosen options. Is this? You sure this is safe?
Yeah. Don't worry about it.
Should we be trying to be quiet, traveling down here? I'm just gonna follow your lead. You let me know. Razia, Xander, anyone? Do we have any like hand motions, like be quiet, or like be on the ready? Do we have any? How do we?
I don't
does
know.
duct tape
protocols.
exist in this world?
Zenladir, you should just lay low and be quiet. is the best thing for you.
Well, I was laying low back in that, those, the low rocks that were down. at
You
the-
continue doing it. You're doing a very poor job now.
Okay. So is he telling me to be quiet? Is it just
Yes,
stop talking? Okay.
Shut up.
All right. So are you guys trying to be quiet as you're walking through here?
Yes, and I'd like to cast Pass Without a Trace.
Okay. All right. So go ahead and everybody make a stealth check, and that's a +10, or everybody who wants to, who's trying to be stealthy.
It's not gonna hurt.
I
I got a 4.
Sick.
Yeah, but you add
That's
10 to
plus
those.
10.
So you're actually at
I
16.
got a 14.
And I'm at, with disadvantage because of my armor, I'm still at 19.
I got a 25.
Nice.
9.
Pass Without a Trace is broken.
It's
Die.
silly.
19.
Well, I was gonna say you have +10, Adam.
Yeah.
Oh. 19.
Wow. Okay.
After that trace.
All right. So you guys get to the point where you like kind of sneak up to the edge, and Louise, you poke around the corner, and you can see the hallway just continues on a northern direction and does end at a very finely made iron door. It looks like it has a bar across it and a lock on the left-hand side of it. There's no light. There's no cracks that indicate what's on the other side of the door yet. We can go ahead and move.
I'll
Everybody
guess I'll
can
just
move up
here
around the corner.
Yeah. All right.
So you're about, what was that, 30 feet away from it? You can see 30, 40 feet,
Yeah,
whatever.
I can just barely see at least. No, I have a 60 feet off. Does anyone know how to use lockpicks?
I never picked up the skill myself.
Well, you know what they
Great.
say, no time like the present. So I'll just go up to the door and try and open it, I guess, with...
You don't have
I don't know.
lockpicks, and you're
I
not
know.
proficient. So what are you going to
Nope.
try and use?
Make it work, champ.
Yeah,
God.
Roll high,
God.
soldier.
God. I don't know. But how big is the lock? Is it like a big lock or is it a small lock?
It looks like a very finely made lock that's pretty normal in size. It does have so it's like a handle, and the bar inserts into the handle and prevents it from like moving or activating. It's like a bar that goes all the way across it, and
Alright.
in the intersection where the bar hits the handle, there's an actual keyhole that's there.
And just before everyone goes crazy, I'll just try and check if I can actually open it before we spend half an hour
Maybe it's not
trying
just
to
unlocked,
do so, and it's unlocked.
Okay, so you put your hand on the handle.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead and make. No, I'm just joking. All right, yeah. So you go and
Go
you
ahead, I have
jiggle the.
advantage. It's magic. I have advantage now.
It might, maybe it'll come in handy later, but this one you put your hand on it and just
It doesn't.
it doesn't really move at
Alright.
all. Yeah. Locked.
Yeah, I'm guessing no one has anything to get past an iron rod, right?
How like beefy does this look? Does it look like it's like rusted and worn down with age or anything?
I mean, you're kind of far back on the totem pole, so you can kind of like look around everybody and yeah, I mean, this is still single file where you're walking right now, so you kind of like squeeze by everybody and get up and investigate it. It doesn't, I mean, it looks old. It's ancient in nature, if you will, but it's not rusted. There's not enough moisture down here, it seems, to cause it to be rusted, but it's the iron bar is 2 inches in diameter.
And it's a padlock, right? There's just a doorknob.
No, there's a iron rod holding the doorknob from turning
Oh,
or
okay.
turning, whatever, and there's a lock hole in the big rod.
Maybe.
There's a big old lock bar.
Are the
Maybe.
door, the lock, or the hinges made out of loose dirt?
Maybe if I freeze it and then somebody can break it.
I was thinking I have this lantern we picked up when we first met the follower of Zil, the magical lantern that shoots out fire. Maybe you can try and melt it as well.
Those are options on the table, unless anybody else has any ideas. Going
I
once.
mean, I got a
got
crowbar. Try and pry it open, but about all I
How
have.
how embarrassing is it that a group of adventurers would be defeated by a door?
That's exactly what I was thinking. That's
Is there? Hold on. Is there like a window in this door, or is it solid?
It's solid.
Okay. Darn.
Tough.
Nope, solid.
Yeah, I don't.
Solid iron door. Looks pretty thick and beefy and heavy. It's
I guess
set-
we must.
Real quick,
With
just in case there's anything going on.
I didn't hear the first part of what you just said. What was it?
Detect magic,
Okay. And okay.
just in case. Just kind of blink real quick and have my eyes glow.
Okay. So the door. There's nothing magical about the door directly in front of you, and I know that you require line of sight to be able to like pinpoint magic, but you can tell that there is a lot of magic inside of the room. On the other side of the store.
Okay.
That could mean many different things, but there's like there's literally too many points of reference that are kind of hazy on the other side, but there's a lot.
Well, the door itself ain't nothing special magic, but there's some. Seems like there's some fancy stuff on the other side of it.
I mean,
Oh.
I would say the bear is very
Right.
strong, correct? So perhaps we should let the bear try to shoulder through or something.
Give the bear a
Okay.
crowbar.
Okay, no, I mean
Circus
that,
bear.
that seems ridiculous, but I mean maybe.
Yeah, I guess we could
Kidding.
try, but
It seems.
I
that
cast
seems ridiculous,
guidance.
but,
I
like,
cast
maybe.
guidance on the bear.
their bear is all the way back at the back of the line.
Oh
Well,
man.
This is
That's-
ridiculous.
Yeah.
That's so
That's a
silly,
stupid thing.
but like.
Just
You guys
smash
gotta
it.
like file all the way out of the tunnel, let the bear go in first.
It's that narrow of a tunnel.
Yes,
None of us
single
are
file.
rolling.
It's single file.
You can't-
I
you can't
allowed
snap-
you to squeeze by. You're like tummy to tummy with each person as you're trying to like barely fit your way in there.
Louise, can
Louise,
you
can't
try?
snap him.
Yeah, try to break it. I don't know. Like you're in the front. Like I will
Yeah, I guess
put my hand on
I'll-
his shoulder and I cast guidance on Louise. And
It-
Hit it with
I'll-
the shillelagh.
Yeah, I guess like that shillelagh. Try and hit the door with.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you
said it was
stealthed-
an iron door,
You
right?
stealthed up to the store and you're casting Shillelagh and you're gonna start beating on the bar.
Yeah, well, stealth has ended. It's loud time.
At this point.
I mean, there's
we are
two
not
other
a
avenues of
discreet- We're not
travel.
a discreet
Find your
group of
Whatever.
adventurers.
First secret door, and you're like, break it down.
Yeah, secret door more important.
Okay.
Smash it.
Alrighty.
Secret door more important.
We didn't bring a rogue,
Hallelujah.
and I didn't get to be my bard, so we're
Bring it-
option C.
Okay. Go ahead and make a strength check, or a go ahead and make an attack roll rather.
Attack roll.
You have guidance.
Yeah, but it's an attack roll, so it doesn't affect it.
Is it? Does it?
Guidance is only for ability check.
Ability checks. So it was
Yeah,
a strength
bless.
Gotcha.
Attack roll.
Okay. A 14
14.
hits the iron door, the bar. Sure. Go ahead and roll damage.
Nice. All
I
right.
hit, but do I actually do damage?
Roll high, soldier.
7 points of damage.
Can
You-
I use
you hit it.
favorite foe on the door?
Your favorite foe is the door.
I
Iron door.
love attacking doors.
I have a great idea. If I
Preferred foe.
shoot a walloping arrow at the door and knock it prone, does it just open?
Yeah, because the
It's not
door
a-
is restrained, so it automatically fails.
I personally, I think
Yeah.
he's onto something. I think Donnie's onto something there.
Um,
Personally,
I would
just me.
I would rule that the walloping arrow would probably, because of its design, have some kind of an effect, but it's not a creature that can be knocked prone. So they probably would do something.
Well, I don't know. Maybe it's a mimic door.
But you do notice, Louise, that your 7 points of damage, like the bar is like a tiny, tiny bit from having
You
hit
know
it.
what? I have 2 attacks per action. That's why
I mean, you could
did
sit
it
here and
again.
beat on this. You could tell that it would probably take you a long time, but it's also like reverberating the sides of the cavern and little bits of coming down from above as you're.
Maybe someone will answer if we hit it enough times.
Exactly, yeah. Alright, so I'll just hit it again.
Okay.
It's also a museum. We're allowed to be here, so we don't have to be quiet.
17. Okay, go ahead and that's
It's
fine.
courtesy to be quiet in a museum.
Oh, five damage. Ding! And you it's like throughout the space that's here, and you can hear on the other side of the door there's a creaking sound, which sounds like metal on metal. It's not coming from the door. It's not like the door's opening, but it is in the whatever's on the other side of this door. There's something that's moving, and after a brief moment, there's a sound of something very heavy and metal hitting the stone floor.
Does it sound kind of similar to the sounds coming up from the left back?
It doesn't sound anything like that, no.
Doesn't sound alright.
And
What
then
level is
another
that?
one.
I don't like this.
Do you guys want to back up, maybe?
Excuse me. I leave.
Just turn around and start booking it. I mean, okay. He banged on the door twice.
I said, excuse me first, and then I just proceeded to go, march on out of there.
So I didn't realize
so
that this
funny.
party was going to have such a hard time opening locked doors. I suppose I could have looked into what you were doing a little
We
more.
have no unlocking ability.
That's not-
nothing.
That's not.
The only
A
only
great
one who
thing
have
for this
anything is
dungeon.
knock.
It's not
and
great.
I don't
Yeah.
have knock.
Yeah.
I was like, I won't need knock.
Yeah, I
Always need
realized.
dog.
I realized that. And I was like, yeah, maybe for my backup character, I'll be an artificer, so I'll get automatic expertise with teeth.
Yeah, there's no rogue in this party or anything.
I mean,
Yeah.
if I
Okay.
long
We're-
rest,
we're
it might
just-
spell.
All casters. We're just all casters.
I
and
was
one
almost a
fighter.
bard. I would have been a thief bard, so.
Well,
Bunch of casters and a fight.
say la vie. Okay, so you got Louise beats on the door bar twice. The sound that's coming from the other side, just so that everybody knows, isn't like something charging towards the door. It isn't even like something is necessarily moving closer to the door. It sounds like something large is lumbering around in whatever this next room is. And with Razier's detect magic up, that like blur is one of the things, and it's one of 2 things that are moving, large things that are moving on the other side of this door. So you guys backtrack back out to the main area. I will let you move your tokens. I don't know if you can move through walls. I hope you can't. You're not supposed to be able to, so just
I can't.
Oh, I
Grrr.
got 2.
play it like a video game.
My life is like a video game.
Ah, it didn't work.
Wait, where am I? Okay. Where's the bear?
Who's that? Is that the Vados?
That's Vudos.
Budos. That's the okay. Oh, he's got some sausages.
It's got sausages.
Those are the rotten tentacles that he's eating. Yep.
I prefer sausages.
Okay. So you guys all convene back out in this main chamber. What are you guys deciding to do?
Does he want that pickaxe?
I know, guys. We want to get there quick, but you said the left pass was easiest, man. Go
Right path was easy.
Yeah, right path's the easiest. And
You
the
said
left
right,
path.
said the right path was
Yeah.
the quickest. That's
Yeah,
what he
it's the
said.
quickest and most dangerous. And left was the easiest.
Yeah.
Nah,
Always-
something
always,
I like
always
our
left
odds.
towards treasure.
I mean, at this point, it is clearly a sign from the gods that the easy path is not the right way. We must perhaps take a difficult turn.
So the easy path is not the right way, so we go left.
No, this is the quick path, but it will be difficult.
So it's the right path or the left path?
Do we go
I-
towards the big
Can we-
grinding metal sound
Who
or
is on
not?
second base?
Wait, what?
Who's on third?
Louise, pick a direction and let's go.
Pick that.
Right. So the quickest. Let's go right.
Let me just take a quick look down this left path. I'll just
Down the left path?
walk.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm just gonna like step around the corner to see.
Sure. Your vision should give you some indication as to okay. So what you can see with your 150 foot, how far does that give you? Does it give you all the way to the other end? It does. It does. Okay. But, okay. So there's a double door. The left hand side door is open. The other one seems like it's been wedged like somehow into place, so is not open. Through the one door, you can see there is some large pedestal that sticks up into the air inside this very large chamber. You actually can't. You can just see the bottom of this large blue undulating orb, and just a pile of stuff on the inside of this room. Broken pieces of helmets, of weapons and shields, pieces of furniture, lots and lots of bones and rotten material that as you're walking around the corner and you just get this visual, the orb goes and then everything gets caught up into this like chaotic magnetic storm. But it's not just metal objects that are being constricted or brought towards it. Everything in the entire room, even the pillars holding up, but you can just barely see on the left-hand side. So you can see like a piece of one of the pillars breaks off and goes flying off towards the orb, and then it relaxes and everything falls and scatters throughout this chamber. And you just kind of like look for a couple seconds, and then everything gets brought back up and then clatters back down again. And it seems to be happening with pretty great frequency. The entire room is kind of bathed with this blue light, and across from this pedestal holding up this orb is another set of double doors.
Like
And that's what you get. That's what you get with your 50 feet or 150 feet of.
So I see all that stuff down there, fellas, and yeah. So we could try and run through that, or I don't know, try and shoot this orb thing that's clearly doing something, or try and break it, turn it off, maybe, or we could walk down the other path that don't got that going on.
Try breaking it first.
Do you want to look at the other path?
I can check the other path. I have 120 feet, so I'll check the left path.
No, the left path is doing that.
Talking about the one.
Oh yeah, he's at the left path. You're on
He's
the right path.
Oh, the right path. Yes. Sorry.
Okay. So you come like into the tunnel, and it immediately descends into just straight darkness. You were in darkness before, like even the main chamber is dark, but there's light coming in from above whatever sun at this point is reflecting down into it. But it feels darker than before, and it's on a slight decline as you head downward. There's no stairs, just a smooth stone surface, and there's plenty of width to this. You guys could walk 2 or 3 wide down this, and it just gently curves slightly downwards, and then it levels off at about maybe 40 feet down, just kind of going on a very slight spiral. And then you're at like a little bit of a landing, and there's this perfectly smooth, flat surface in front of you, unbroken, black, pitch black. And the ceiling above you is maybe like 10 feet high, and it's almost like somebody took a sliver, almost like a frisbee shaped something, and like jammed it in here and created this cavern that's not very tall but very wide, and the bottom of it is perfectly smooth. On the right hand side, on this little platform but this little stone area that you found yourself on, there's a little wooden raft with 2 oars affixed to pieces of wood with circles on them. I don't know what those are called, but where the oars go on the raft, and it's yes.
Is the boat square?
The boat is rectangular.
Rectangular. Okay.
It's made of wood, from what you can tell.
Okay.
It looks old, very old.
And it's like it's on solid ground.
Correct. It's on the solid ground that you're on, and there's a little bit of a deviation from the stone that you're standing on. There's like a little bit of a lip, maybe like 5 inches, that just kind of gradually slopes down and then turns into this. You would think you would think that you're looking at an underground pond or lake if it didn't look like stone, but it's perfectly smooth. How far is your
120 feet.
Okay. Come on now. Where is this? There it is. Okay. So you can see across from where you're standing, there's another tunnel about the same size as the one that you descended down through. It's about 10 feet high and maybe about 10 feet wide. A tunnel that continues on for another 80. You said you have 120 feet?
Yeah.
Then, yeah, the tunnel just continues and ends. You can't see where it ends. It's too far away. Okay. So from where you stand at the edge of this flat surface, 60 feet, another tunnel continues 80 feet or 60 feet, and that's the end of your vision.
All right, I'll go back up to them. If I'm being honest, I don't really like our odds down there.
There's literally nothing.
Empty room with a boat.
There was a small. It was a small boat, right? It wouldn't fit all of us.
We'll say that it's like 6 by 10. So yeah, you could technically.
That helps me.
You could all fit on it, but you'd be all crammed
Okay.
on the boat. Yeah, it would be
real
tight.
Does that include the bear?
Does not include the bear. No.
It's kind of it kind of looks like it might be tar or some kind of malleable stone. I mean that's what I'm inclined to believe. There's a boat there for some reason, so I'm inclined to believe that we're supposed to use it. But if we were going on that boat, I'd be afraid of like sinking, and then we would just simply never make it out of here. So I'd rather my odds getting thrown up and down by a big blue orb over going across that river of nothingness.
All right. Should I take a shot or two at that orb there? See if I can break it or something.
Yeah,
Not a bad idea.
I'll see if I can help, man.
All right.
Yeah, how far is the orb from where we are?
It's
If
in
you, guys
my,
move,
if I
if
can
you
see
move all your tokens over to that left-hand side, you can. From where Razir is standing right now, it's about 95 feet, 100 feet. Yeah, just looks like it's pulling everything in around it to itself.
I'm gonna wait for it to be not on, and then I'm gonna.
Okay.
I'm gonna sling magical stones at it as well.
What's the range on your sling? Isn't it 30 and 60? Or no, it's probably much further than that for a sling. Like 60 and 120 or something.
It's not.
No, I'm pretty sure the spell, like Magic Stone, has a longer range if you don't use a sling, actually.
Yeah.
120.
That's the long range, but what's the...
If thrown has a range of 60 feet. Oh, wow, yeah. That's so 60 feet. 60 feet. Oh.
Okay. You're just shooting two Eldritch Blasts at it? Okay.
Yeah.
So as you see it powering down and drops everything, you immediately fire off at it, and Sheku throws a stone at it as well. It fires inwards and collides with the orb and just dissipates or disappears into the orb itself. There is no... Like, it should have impacted. But it didn't.
What about the rock?
The rock, sure, yeah, the rock, ting, 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 ting. Actually, go ahead and roll attack roll for your rock.
Oh man.
And what's the range? 60 feet if you're throwing it? So you're going to stand 60 feet from this thing? Let's see, where is that? Back here? Okay.
10 to hit.
Okay, sure, that hits. Go ahead and roll damage.
Oh, no.
On
Oh, actually, I gotta hit.
Not a bunch.
9 damage.
9 damage? Okay. And this is a...
He rolled a natural 1.
No, it didn't. It was a 7.
Was it?
Yeah, they're both 7s.
Oh, they're both 7s.
The things I rolled the exact same thing.
Okay, I thought they were 1s. Never mind.
So this is a magical stone.
Yes.
And what is it made out of? Stone.
It's literally a rock.
Loose dirt.
Okay. So you just loose. I throw loose dirt. No. It yeah. So it rushes up. It hits it, and you just hear a dink, and it falls down to the ground. You're not close enough to see whether or not it's done any damage or not. But then the rock and everything inside gets pulled up and swirls around before falling down to the ground again.
How long is it taking between these strikes?
Approximately 6 seconds.
You said this other door was jammed?
Yeah.
The right door?
It looks like you could probably, if you like pound it, like, beat it or something, you probably can get it open if you really wanted to.
Swift kick.
Okay, make a strength check. Or athletics or whatever.
Guidance.
Whatever you want to do.
Rolled. Kick.
21. It gets broken off the last bit of hinge that was left, and it just a bunch of dust and things get kicked up. And then the door gets brought up into everything, slams into the orb, doesn't seem to impact it at all. I mean, it looks like everything in this room is colliding with the orb and then swirling around it and then being shot into the sides of the room, into the pillars, breaking pieces of the stonework off and kind of falling inwards. Very, very minute damage to the actual room, which is interesting. But everything that's inside of it, there's papers, there's bits of cloth, there's all kinds of things. Lots of things in this room. I just got to get to my notes real quick here. Hold on.
Louise, give me a good berry.
All right, I give him one.
I'm going to throw the good berry into the room. I have theories.
Okay, I don't do this very often. I'm just referencing my notes real quick. Hold on.
He's like, normally it's all off the top, but right now I gotta take.
He's evolving.
Yeah, it's like 90% improv.
evolving.
Yeah. Okay, so you throw the good berry in there. Are you trying to hit the orb, or do you not care?
No, I'm just trying to see if it gets caught up in the whirlwind thing.
Okay, you throw it in. Actually, did Louise, you gave him one of your good berries?
Yeah, I gave it.
Okay, just for science.
Science!
Inwards, and then make a perception check. It's a tiny object in a room full of other tiny objects.
Reasonable.
24. Oh yeah, there isn't anything left on the ground except for maybe some dust.
All right, so
I had a theory maybe it wouldn't affect living objects because all this stuff is just like junk.
I want to
There's
try
also
something, but
bones and decayed viscera.
Oh, you're right. There's bones.
this might go poorly. Once the thing powers down, I want to run in and flying jump kick this mug.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna key point step of the wind, and I'm backtracking as soon as I do it.
Within
wait.
between 6
Oh
seconds.
no!
I got 80.
No.
I got 80
Okay.
movement speed. 80
Okay.
movement speed
Die
with step of the wind.
again.
All right, so what I want to just explain a little bit better as far as the scenario is concerned. I know that on the map, because it's top down, it looks like this orb is really close to the ground, but it's like 12 feet in the air. It's up on this really ornate, like carved metal, maybe brass, you're not quite sure, pedestal that rises up, and there's this huge orb up on top of it that's causing this to happen. And you could see it from your angle because it does, like, this pathway does descend down slightly, but these doors are pretty large that are here that allow you to see. But yeah.
He's like, just so I can tell
So-
you again, like, you're going to die.
It's
If you go in there.
just to say, my jump distance is doubled for the turn. Does that include my up jump, like my high jump?
Would, yeah.
Pretty sure
So-
it does, yeah.
I can run in. I will focus my chi. I begin to glow slightly. I rush in, jump, backflip, kick this mug, and then I'm gonna land and I'm taking off back to where everyone else is.
What
Okay.
is the jump
Oh,
height?
Alrighty.
God.
What's your
Before that, there's a specific, like,
There is a specific
like
jump height,
3
so-
plus your strength bonus is your
So
height.
that
something
means
like
I got 6 feet. I can get up off the ground, and if I'm about like 6 feet tall, I think is how tall I am, or something like that. All right, I'm 5'10", so I'm slightly shorter than 6 feet.
I'm gonna allow you to attempt this. We don't have to get out the calculators and everything. Okay?
All right.
So, what's your
I'm
movement
doing
speed?
monk stuff. It's 80 when I step of the wind. So I'm
Okay.
in and out. I'm going. I'm gonna get out of there before this thing.
Okay, so you're
I
gonna
had
run.
a
So
What's up?
Shaco, are
I
you
had an
stopping
idea
him
of
from
my-
doing this?
Well, I was gonna aid him somehow. My idea was to tie rope around a javelin, and then wedge the javelin in the doorway, so that the rope will get sucked in and be there. So no matter what we did, we could hopefully pull ourselves, or at least hold on to it from this. So this may help you before you run in there and potentially die.
High jump.
Well.
High jump, please. Yeah, it's 3 plus your strength modifier. If you move at least 10 feet on foot immediately before you jump, when you make a standing high jump, you can jump half that distance. Yeah. So, yeah.
Okay, so I
DM
got.
might allow to make a strength of like check.
Okay, I got this.
So you got some Dragon Ball Z stuff going on right
I
now.
got some Dragon Ball Z stuff about to happen. So I'm instant
Oh,
transmissioning.
no.
I'm jumping up. I'm kicking
Alright,
this
but-
thing.
So
Before
two-
you do that, couldn't you just, well, still doing Step of the Wind because it uses your bonus action, just rush all the way here, use your action, try and break the door, and move into the next room?
Yeah, and except if I don't break the door and it's locked, then I'm stuck in the room, and I don't
Yeah,
want
but
that.
pretty sure if you do what you're gonna do and you fall on your back, you're gonna die as well.
I got 30 feet to get there. That's only 60
Hey,
feet total
you know
back
what?
and forth. So I got an extra 20
Alright.
to play with.
But it won't like to aid my javelin idea. It will need some
Is
extra rope
is
for
there
the javelin.
is there a spot we could anchor like a javelin across, or is it
The
the double
doorway.
doors that like completely open up, or is there a center bar that we could
there's
anchor
so
off
this
of?
so there's like basically the stonework of the cave system, and then this room is made of a totally different kind of stone. It's like sandstone. I know I didn't describe that, but that is the case. And so you could theoretically jab like the pointy end of the javelin into one, and then have it anchor against the doorway. Probably. As to whether or not it would hold, you'd have to. I would ask for a dexterity or intelligence check to affix the javelin.
One other thing, the doors on the other side, what do they look like? Are they just like wooden doors like the ones on this side were?
They look like hefty wooden doors. The reason that Thrall was able to break this one off of its hinge is because it was barely hanging on at this point anyways. And even as it got sucked up into this orb situation, it broke a bit, but only like a piece of it broke off. And now at this point, as you're sitting here having this conversation, it's been sucked up several times throughout the, several rounds that have gone by, and it's only mildly being damaged by the debris that's around here. So these are pretty hefty doors.
All right. No matter what
actually-
happens, the
actually,
next
your
time it
javelin-
stops, I'm running out. I'm going. I'm doing.
Your javelin would have to be like 11 feet long. I just realized that because this is a 10-foot wide opening.
Right. That's
Well,
why.
there's-
That's why I asked if there was a center bar.
For
to
some
it,
reason,
or
I
the doors.
forgot. No, there isn't.
Okay, so that doesn't work.
Up and down would be.
Go kick it. See what
Yeah,
happens.
that sucks. It
And
was a good idea.
I go to kick it.
I'd like to, well, ready in action. So if he falls, I can try and drag him back with the Thorn Whip.
Which is going to require an attack roll
Yeah, it would.
to hit him.
But I
Okay.
mean, it might be
All right.
better than being sucked into that orb.
I'm sure anything will be better than getting sucked into this orb, but here I go.
Okay. So I have a question. As you enter the room, you know what? What I will say, just because to make this a little bit more fair, the first 5 feet in front of the doorway that you're standing at right now, there is some debris that seems to be not affected by the orb. There's a part of a table. There's like a broken mirror and some cloth and a few pieces of paper that are in shreds and a broken coffee mug, which whatever, and like a bent in gauntlet and stuff. There's like bits of debris that are about 5 feet inside the door, and as everything's getting pulled up, it's almost like a defined line where even like some of the dust stops. So it seems like this thing does have a range, and it seems to be 5 feet or past 5 feet in front of the, inside the room, which is pretty definable. Who is that? It's
So,
Alex.
like,
Yes, it looks like it has about a 20-foot range. Sure. Okay.
So
As
like,
you-
if
so you
if
just
we
go
were
charging
here,
in.
we'd be fine.
You probably could step one, and it yeah. Okay, so Alex, you start to run, or rather Duke, sorry, running into the room. Where are you going to leap from? Which
If I can, I would like to run up. Are these little tables like on
those
the
are
sides?
those
of these
are
columns?
those are columns, columns. Yeah.
Okay, then I'm gonna parkour. I'm gonna kick off one of these pillars and spinning kick this mug. Monk stuff.
Okay.
Does it, whether before or after, does it look like the other side of the room also has that 5-foot space in front of the door that's not being messed with?
Borders.
It does not.
Oh, okay.
Meaning no. There's not one there. Okay. Okay. So you go to enter the room, and you, Duke, I would like you to please roll initiative.
Initiative?
That's 18.
I
Is it only
forgot. I
minus
forgot to.
one
I forgot to
all the
grab.
rolls?
I forgot to grab a token for the orb, to have it on the initiative order, and for some reason it's not letting me. Can I put you over here?
Why is it an 18?
Sure.
Alex?
Hey, sorry guys.
All good.
My cousin's called. They're in DR. And
Don't worry.
We're still just staring at this room.
Can you
It's
see
a
what's
pretty
on the?
orb.
We're still staring at the room?
Can you see what's on
Wait.
the initiative tracker? By the way,
no, wait, I
Okay.
didn't even
So
look. What
Woodwode.
happened to
pay
Duke?
no
What happened?
attention to the woodwode. It's not a
Woodwode.
woodwode. It's not a woodwode.
I got an 18
Woodwode.
total, by the way.
You got an
Just
18 total. Okay,
Yeah, because I'm -2.
gotcha.
But yeah,
Um,
I was thinking,
-1.
weren't you just -1?
Oh, is it just -1? Then 19. Sorry,
No, no,
Okay.
you got one long rest, and you had to roll a d4, and you rolled a 1.
got
was
a
it?
2. I rolled a 2, I thought.
A 2, yeah, so you'd be out -1.
-1.
Only
Okay.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's 19.
The woodwode is the blue, the blue orb. Don't worry about it. Okay, so
Woodwode's
it
going down.
it literally does its thing. All the things clatter to the ground. You run inside. Go ahead and make an acrobatics check for me for this parkour moment. DC is not very high because you're a monk and you're doing monk stuff.
Ooh!
Hey, a 9. That's that's not
That's an
not
8.
that's
Oh, yeah.
Oh, dude, you're
It is an 8.
dead.
okay.
I cast guidance on myself.
No. Okay, so describe to me what you do.
All right, so I run in, I step off some of the things as they're falling, kick off the pillar, and in midair, I just do a spinning kick, all
Legolas
glowing
in the Hobbit,
faintly. Oh yeah,
just totally defying gravity, walking up things, and falling to the
Absolutely.
ground.
That's
Okay.
not how gravity works.
Okay, you go up, and would you mind telling me, is your kick, is it magical?
My kick is not magical yet. I don't
Okay.
think.
Gotcha. So it's not magical. Yeah. Okay. So you kick it, tink, and it is. It doesn't even make a, unless your boots are made of metal, doesn't make a clink sound. It's just like a thud. So you like kick it, roundhouse, and then you'd like kick off of it and push backwards. And as you do, you realize that the orb is a lot slipperier than you thought it was going to be. And as opposed to traveling the full distance back, you land prone on the ground in front of it. And so you are now, let's say, here. But you have 80 feet of movement. So you get literally so much movement. You like ricochet, go up, kick, go, fall to the ground, and you're like, oh man, that stinks. Get up and then run the rest of the way back. However, now that you're on the ground, could you please tell me what your means of getting back to the door is from this point on the ground?
So as I'm laying down on the ground, I do a backwards roll and push up with my hands, just kind of backward somersault.
It's over.
So that's cool. That's cool and all. Are you just making a straight beeline back to the door?
Yes.
Okay. As you're walking forward, you do your cool roll thing, get yourself up. You're like, yeah, that was cool. I have like 80 million feet of movement still, and you're walking forward, and your foot hits something, and you hear a tink, and from the side of the wall, I need you to make a dexterity saving throw, please. As
You're the
you,
worst.
Yay!
But he wants you to play David Bowie, that's why.
That's a 12 or 13. 13.
13. Okay. So a couple of tiny little darts come flying out of the side, hit you right in the neck as you're walking back, and you're like, oh, that's like a bee sting. You take 1 point of piercing damage, and I need you to make a Constitution saving throw, please.
Yay! Now he's
Jason's worst nightmare, rolling 100 million times during a session.
I.
Oh my gosh, natural one.
This is a 3. I'm not doing great right now.
Jason, did you?
Do I really? Am I really going to use it? I will use Chronal Shift.
You're gonna use it here, huh? Okay.
I will
Really?
give him 1.
Oh boy.
You get 1.
right.
You get.
By the
Don't
way, it
you
was
still have
here that you ran into
It's
it.
a 7.
So.
Whatever. At least it's not a nat 1. You waste of air.
You are.
I feel like a waste. Worst monk ever.
So it hits you, and you're like, "Oh man, that was a bee sting," and you're like, keep walking back, and then all of a sudden you're like a little more sluggish, and then there's what kind of comes over you, and you are poisoned.
This poor guy.
However, you have enough movement, and you walk back, and you're over here, and you're fine. And
Duke sits down and says, "That was not pleasant," and I'm just gonna put my head on the wall and just kind of be mopey
So
for a
you
minute.
sit down, and you're like facing the doorway, and like on the blue orb's turn, there's a sound, and like whatever bits of your cloth that are like left, whatever's flat would be flapping in the wind if there was wind here, gets like picked up, and it's like behind you as it's trying to get pulled up towards the orb. You're fine, but you see that like obviously
I'm not
happening
fine.
behind you.
I'm emotionally scarred.
You kicked it. You did what
Sure
you set
did.
out and intended to do. I'm going to go ahead and end the combat round there.
Hey, Ben, when you were up close there, man, did you see like a little crack on that thing?
I don't think.
Do a rock that earlier.
No, I don't think so.
I'd like to go inspect the pillars a little more closely, if I could.
So you
Perhaps
have-
maybe
you have
for
the-
a secret switch or something.
So you have, are you inspecting the pillars closest to the door? Or you want to go in further?
Yeah, no, I go into the within the 5 feet safety
Gotcha.
location. There's that one right there on
Yep.
the right side. I'll just
Okay,
look at that
just
one
go ahead and make an
first.
investigation check.
All right, I
Or
can do
perception,
that.
your choice. Either one.
I am good at. I can't smell a switch, so
But can you hear a switch?
I almost just choked up my beer from that. Can't smell a switch. That's the greatest. Okay, so 14. I mean, it looks like there are scar marks on these pillars. You can check. You can carry that roll for both. It's pretty obvious. These are just for like decor, but also holding up the wall above. Which now 2 of you have been inside, and a lot of you were standing at the edge and looking up. You can see this thing's like at least 20, 30 feet tall, and it's actually domed, or not domed, but it's curved at the top, kind of like an archway, but it's one hallway, the whole way. And the pillars kind of come up and meet that arch on an angle. Looks relatively undamaged. Sorry, go ahead.
I like to cast Magic Stone again, and this time I'm gonna chuck 3 pebbles at it.
Okay.
Just to see if maybe some more damage will crack it or something, you know?
Yep. Remind me again what your pebbles are made out of?
Loose
Stone.
dirt.
They're rocks.
Loose dirt, and earth.
Magical rocks.
I know what they're made out of.
25, 21, and 11.
20. Wait, what was it? 20 something.
25,
30.
21, 11.
Gotcha. Okay, all 3 of them hit. You're welcome to roll some damage if you'd like to, but you throw all of them into the room and they tink, tink, tink.
Nothing?
Doesn't seem to have much of an effect.
Man, so I can't damage this thing.
I didn't realize that.
Do a detect magic. Let's get a school. I don't know. You guys want? Hey, anyone that can cast a spell? Anyone? Anyone here?
Yeah.
Maybe.
Nope.
I feel like this puzzle shouldn't be this hard.
What it is.
I feel like we're missing something completely obvious.
All right, I'm going. Duke stands back up after a minute, and he starts to glow again. I'm running across this time. Step of the wind, carrying myself all the way over to the doors, and I'm gonna see if they just open. Dear
Before
God,
you
I
do
hope
that,
they do.
do you guidance yourself?
I do guidance myself.
Okay. Alrighty.
Oh wait,
Alright.
before I go, Xander, how far does your magic hand thing go?
My mage hand,
Yeah, it's the magic one.
30 feet.
Okay, never mind. That's not helpful. Okay.
All right. If you wouldn't mind telling me if you're jumping any portion of this, where that is, and please map out your exact course for me as you're running through it.
Yeah.
I'm not
Johnny,
joking.
I'd have learned to spell magic if I didn't only get 2, because I chose fireball and counterspell.
We're gonna speed things up. Could somebody tell me or tell him how to map out using the measuring tool? Is it holding control and then clicking where your points are?
You could just
Because I can see where you're highlighting.
Or, oh my god, I'm shaking.
Look at him. Look at this. What is this? 80 feet. Okay.
What's gonna happen today? I did it. And then as soon as I
Mr.
saw
Peanut
it,
doing a
I'm
dance.
like, that's my man. And I'm so happy to be. I mean, my
What the heck is all that noise in the background? This is the most annoying person's voice I've ever heard.
It's Love Is Blind. They're all materialistic and just want clout. And then they get married at the end of the show, and then they have a reunion, and they're like, "Yeah, I actually hated him. When we saw each other for the first time, he was super ugly, and I just did not want to date him at all."
So,
I'm muting myself. I'm sorry.
so they're just normal Americans.
Wow.
Sounds like it.
Pretty much.
Actually, you'd be surprised. Quite a few of them come out Australian or English. But yeah, mostly American.
Hey, let's hear your Australian accent.
Nar.
No. No. Wow.
Nah.
Okay.
All right, I'm just gonna go straight across.
You're
kick
running
off
straight
on
across?
The second to last pillar.
And you still have step of the wind, so you've got 80 feet
I
currently.
got 80 feet. Yep.
Okay. So you're running all the way to the opposite wall in a straight line.
I believe in you.
Pretty much.
But that's all I can offer.
He died.
All I can do is
offer
believe.
is my belief.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to move your token. So that you've confirmed that's what you're doing. Are you jumping any portion
Going
of this?
straight, and yeah, jumping
watch
off that second to last one, kicking off of it to get to the door.
Before you do this,
Yeah.
are we sure we want to go this way and not just go the room that doesn't have the big orb?
The other way
throwing-
has a boat. Like, you don't know what's in the water. I don't.
Duke, Bradaz, are you saying that a boat is more intimidating to you than a room with where everything flies around and you could
The fathomless
around?
depth of a underground water source is intimidating to me.
I mean,
Yes.
look. I'm
He
gonna
didn't
be
say
honest.
it was
I'm gonna be
water.
honest. I don't know that it's water or liquid, but I'm assuming the boat is there for that reason. And there's a lot of us, and that boat's not very big. If that boat crashes or sinks or whatever, we pop a hole in it because somebody's got a bony butt. Like, we're going down, and we're just sinking, and there's no coming back from that. Like, what if it's tar? How do you get out of tar?
Well, we don't want to check out what that might be.
Okay,
before
no,
we-
I'm open to it. I'm just
Who has
saying.
just been exhausted from coming back to life into a dangerous room within 6 seconds trying to get, was that 60 feet over to the other side of the room, hope the door is unlocked and make it and not get tossed about like a rag doll?
It does sound ridiculous,
Hey,
but I mean,
running is a crazy competition. I think it's called like track in certain places.
Right, I don't doubt his ability to run. It's the what if that door's not open scenario, and then the room does its thing and he gets tossed about like he's made of paper mache.
What's paper mache?
It's
it
paper
is,
that
it
you
is
just
an art.
eat.
It is an arts and craft form.
Hey, man,
I've seen it before.
How big are those teeth, man? We could maybe walk real quiet
It
by the monster.
No, like the mouth was at
really
least
questioning
four
this group's
4 feet
ability
tall.
to handle things at this point.
Me too. This is ridiculous. I am so tired right now.
Just turn around. Forget this whole dungeon. Let's just go home. The puzzles are too hard and too scary.
Yeah, we're just gonna be farmers instead.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, let's
like-
go check out. Let's go
when
check
I-
out the bottom.
I do
Okay,
a double
let's-
check in this room. Like, is there on the pillar? Is there like a switch or a arcane button or on the walls or something? Is there something that looks like is either triggering this thing or what? I want to look through the room real quick. See if I
with
can see
your
anything.
because you've got do you have detect magic up right now?
Sure.
Sure. What did I have in here? Apparently nothing. That's interesting. Yeah. Okay. If you can make an Arcana check if you want.
I want to just look. I'm looking for a switch.
I know you are. Well, then make a perception check, and it will be for something other than what the information I was going to provide to you.
Here. 21.
21. You feel confident with your line of sight that from what you can see from your perspective, there are no switches. On
Maybe,
your-
was an
maybe it's a DC 30, guys.
What do you mean
Let
that
me
was
go
a-
check real
Oh,
quick.
you actually made an Arcana check. Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
So this is of the School of Enchantment, and by meditating, a voice comes into your mind and just says, "There's a connection." Off to the side, it kind of echoes for a second, and there's like a little blip on like it's almost like the reach of your detect magic extends for like a brief second, and you can see on the other side of the double doors of this room there appears to be something connected with a very loose tether to this orb inside this room.
Right. So the switch for this thing is on the other side of them doors over there. So
Okay, let's go to the boss,
Yeah.
I guess. Golly. I'm so. This is.
I didn't
You
realize.
Is this what
I didn't
adventuring
realize
is
this was
like?
gonna,
Is this what this is?
I did not realize this was going to happen at all. It's going to be like,
What do you mean?
I don't know. I figured you guys would be trying to either
Dude.
use brute force or some other
Timothy,
cunning actions.
remember in Ring of Valor when there was that fire, ice, and acid puzzle and we sat there for like an hour? It was just 3 things and we were in imminent danger and we sat there for an hour trying to figure it out.
That's true. I'll just have to find somebody who appreciates my amazing puzzles then. That's fine.
Well,
We appreciate them, but we're silly. We're so
Jason,
silly.
I was gonna say we've been here for an hour and we haven't actually interacted with the puzzle.
I have. I'm throwing rocks at
We
it.
could- Alright, before we go, if we
True,
if we
yeah.
shoot if we shoot the switch,
It's on the other side of the door.
Oh, it's
On
on
the
the other
other
side of the door. Oh,
No,
okay.
it's in the next room.
Okay. All right. Never
So
mind that.
we can either gamble on whether those doors are unlocked.
This
Let's
is
just
a
go
dun-
swim.
this-
Let's go
this-
swim through some tar.
I don't want to swim.
I just
I
want
don't even know
to go on record
hard.
as saying this is a dungeon crawl. This is, by definition, a dungeon crawl. Is exactly what this is. So anybody who thinks otherwise, you're wrong.
Well, I mean, yes, it is
Brazier,
dungeon
can you-
crawl. We are
can
in
you
the
blast
dungeon,
the doors
and
down?
earlier we were crawling.
This is definitely a crawl.
Anyone with thaumaturgy? Anyone?
Anyone?
Nope.
What's the door made of again?
Wood.
Wood.
You think
Can
I can
anyone-
stick an arrow in it that's with a rope tied around it and just pull it open?
Wait, can't you just use your walloping arrows?
Oh, apparently it doesn't work on doors.
Yeah, but the
Well, it
other door
didn't
was
work-
made out
it
of
wasn't
metal.
It says specifically creatures. No, it doesn't just say objects.
Brazier, can you fire something at it and see if it goes
Yeah,
down?
I'm gonna give the door on the other side an Eldritch Blast or two just to test it out.
Okay,
Blam.
sure.
You door.
I'm not going to make you roll
Greatest
for
enemy.
those specifically. It's just
Doors.
because this is all testing, right? So it intersects. It looks like you've made a dent. The wood's kind of splintered inwards, and bits of it are kind of missing. If you sat here for a few minutes, you could probably just continue blasting away at it and make a hole in it.
Peeling the veneer.
Well, hey.
It would take a few minutes, so 5 minutes of Eldritch blasting. Just
Less time than we've already spent standing here looking at the room.
Yeah.
okay.
I mean, I'll be aiming for the door knob where the doors connect and see if I can wedge them open, or we don't do that and don't break the door to the point where we can't open it anymore anyways.
It's your choice. Whatever you want to do, you let me know. As you're breaking it, so you're aiming for the center of it at first, just to shoot.
If I do. One last thing. So when you said that it was like picking stuff up, was it? Did you say it was also swirling it around? It's not just like it all gets sucked into the middle and then dropped.
It all gets sucked into the middle, swirls around for like a second, and then as it's being swirled around, gets thrown everywhere. Yeah,
Okay.
some of which is at the door. It doesn't quite. It just like hits the door lightly. It's like that's the edge of its thrown distance, and a lot of the heavier objects remain, like the big door that got broken by Thrall, remain like right underneath the orb. They're not getting thrown anywhere near as far.
Okay. The heavier objects aren't getting thrown as far. If we tie all of us together, we become one large heavy object that it can't pick up.
You know what? I'm willing to hear him out.
I mean, it's an
Does it
idea.
look like Chris being struggled to be
Just-
picked up?
Does Thrall's not talking this entire time. What does Thrall have to say about this puzzle?
Thrall thinks everybody's an idiot.
So,
Okay.
so say something.
No, I can't. I want to watch one of you die.
That's so ridiculous,
You just watched some one of us die yesterday.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, never gets old.
Wow. Banned. Okay.
So do I try and blast the door open, or do we not break the door?
Blast the door. It's fine. I'll run through and hit the button.
Okay. I guess I'll sit here and blast the door.
Can you break
For a
it
while.
enough to have Duke go through, or I think maybe he can
Yeah.
open it by reaching through the door or something like that?
Even the
Well,
mage hand.
if you're able
after
to break the lock, you should just be able to open it
Oh
and
yeah,
go
yeah,
inside.
yeah. If you hit the little
you
latch.
get run halfway in the end.
Yeah. So, you know, I said 5 minutes. It probably, because of having to wait for the Eric's. Okay. So having to wait for the orb to do its thing or whatever, you know, I said 5 minutes. It's somewhere between probably 5 and 10 minutes of because it's doing some damage, but it's just whittling away at it. And, you know, you could focus on where the hinges are. You could try and focus on where the handle is, but you can eventually make a Duke-sized hole if you wish to do so. Where would you like to make the hole? Just so that I can have a visual on where it's going to go.
I'm aiming for where the handles connect, so that in case it was locked, it will no longer be locked. So does it look like the door opens into this room like the ones on our side did?
Yes.
Yeah, the hinges open inwards or outwards?
Inwards towards the room. Yep.
So you open it, then
And
the
just
sucking mechanic will just open the door for you.
right. Yeah, I'll just keep blasting. If I'm actually getting through it, I'll just keep blasting.
Sure.
I'll just
keep blasting. Keep
take
blasting.
it. I'll
Keep
break
blasting.
the handles. I'll shoot at the hinges and have the hole. And then once those are gone, I'll just hit the edges until it's a cutout of the thing, and then I'll blast the door down.
Sure. Okay. So I mean, you don't even have to get that far. As soon as you get
Dozens
to
and dozens of Eldritch Blasts.
the hey, maybe it seems like a cheap way of getting through it. It is what it is. You're just shooting it, and you guys are just watching. And the sound of the Eldritch Blast and the color of it and the lighting up of the room and then waiting for the orb and then it crashing back down of everything and just continuously firing through dust and debris that's been kicked up around the room itself. Eventually you break off where the handles connect in the middle, and the right-hand door doesn't move at all. But the next cycle of the orb pulling things, the left door, like it's stuck, like it's forced trying to be pulled off of its hinges and flung up towards the orb. And then after the orb lets go, some of the items kind of get flung through the opening, and you can see it opens up into another portion of the cave. It's a small area. I will go ahead and open that up for you. Yep. You can see that on the left-hand side, for some reason I forgot to put the lever, but there is a lever that is visible probably about 10 feet on the inside of the door on the left.
There we go.
So if Duke wanted to go ahead and time it, it can, with Step of the Wind, could run all the way across and probably hit
Here
the
I go.
switch.
He doesn't even need to step of the wind. He can just dash.
I'm just
Sure.
gonna dash. I won't.
Okay,
won't use
so
my key.
because you didn't actually run across the first time, are you going to take the same trajectory straight across?
So when I stepped on the thing, was it was it perpendicular to a pillar?
No. Not the one that you stepped on. No.
Gaps in between the pillars.
He got hit by something.
Okay, then I will try to kick off as many things as I can and stay off the ground.
But now your word isn't worth anything at this point.
Your word isn't worth anything at this point. The room is like 25 feet wide. So I would say you probably can't kick all the way across, like back and forth. Like that's too far, probably.
All right, then I'll ask them to
could-
clear a path, and then I'm gonna take a running jump and jump as far as I can into the room, and then run the rest of the way.
Okay, just go ahead and map it out for me. and let me know where you're jumping. Yeah, I mean, you could jump past the pillar. Like, there's enough room for you to kind of scoot past it if you wanted to. There, I just want to know where you're launching off of and where you're landing. Can you you can't jump this whole room, can you? You
No,
can't,
I
like,
cannot jump this whole
you
room.
can't,
Not,
like,
not
jump-
without step of the wind.
When you make a long jump, you cover a number of feet equal to your strength score if you move at least 10 feet on foot immediately before the jump.
So I could do 20 if I did step of the wind, but I'm not going to do that.
So,
Should be
I'll
like
say
a
that because in the heat of the moment and you were running backwards, you probably would remember where the 1 was. Which I think you were over here when you were walking back. I remember. No, you were here?
Yeah, I was like right there. Like right.
Yeah. So you would know that in that spot, does anybody have like gust or anything that can clear the debris out of the way?
I've got torn.
He said he asked.
I got Mage Hand. Mage Hand can like brush,
Yeah.
like it's like curling.
Some debris and stuff.
He was saying for us to get out of the way so he can have room
Oh,
to
I
do
thought
the
he
run.
was asking for people. Okay.
No, I'm asking for people to move so I can run and jump.
All right. You're going to make it across this, and I'm going to go put the kid to bed because it's time to do that.
All right, so I jump. I'll land about. I'll land right there, right here.
Can you can jump that far? If you 20
10
feet?
feet.
10
It's
feet?
10 feet from. Oh, yeah, it's 20 feet. That's true. All right, so 10 feet.
Okay. That's fine. Okay. And then from there, you're going to go left around the central pillar. And then
I'm just going to leap over it. Oh, wait, is it a pillar like straight up? Or
the pillar's 12 feet tall with the orb on top
All
of
right.
it.
Then, yeah, I'm going to go around it.
Okay.
And then
He
just
jumps up,
beeline
grabs
the
the
most
orb,
direct
gets a
route
football.
across the room, really.
Okay.
Correct.
So that you can see where I'm measuring right now?
Yeah.
Okay. So you go and you run, you jump, land, slide, jump up, run around the side of the pillar. I need you to make 3 dexterity saving throws, please. It is, after all, the most direct route from the pillar. So
Yeah, you're not wrong. I just hate my life. Am I at disadvantage, right?
because you're
ability
poisoned,
checks and attack
Poison, yeah.
rolls.
Okay, so not saving throws.
not saving throws though, right? When you're poisoned, no. Okay,
No, it's
so
ability
straight
checks.
So
straight
one.
roll. Right.
It's a 22. Or
Okay.
23, sorry. And then 2 is a 16. And then 3 is 14.
Wow. So as you're running, it's like run a little bit, run a little bit, all goes flying by you, hitting all the walls. You're running past, slide through the door as it's partially ajar, get up and hit the lever,
Correct.
and you wait a couple seconds. The dust settles, little bits of tick, 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 kind of falling from the ceiling, and there's like an errant bit of a shield that's like off to the side, but the orb does not light up again.
So, Shaku, do you want to throw a rock at it?
Yeah. I'm gonna throw the rock at it,
At the orb?
and then I'll carry on. Yep.
Okay.
Then I'll carry on through.
All right, you throw a rock up at it. Hits it. You walk up, you look up at the orb. Like, it's 12 feet tall. You're like, I don't know how tall you are, 6'5", 6'10", whatever you are. You look up at it. It's still like a full person's length above you, and you're like squinting. You don't see any cracks or any
No damage.
nothing, no scratches of any kind. It looks like a perfectly spherical object.
Can we?
And again,
take
I'll
it?
ask you: are your pebbles? What are your pebbles made out of again?
stone.
Yeah. Okay. So you guys all make it to the other side of this room, if you want to, and I will be back in 5 to 10 minutes. Okay. I feel like everybody's here, even though Donnie's up. So,
Donnie's always here.
you can
He's-
always
yeah, that's what they're
move
gonna
all your
say.
tokens inside that other room, unless there's something else you wanted to do in this room. But you guys were here for quite a while, so.
Yeah, we'll be careful where we step and go.
Okay.
No, I guess I could go first and just poke the floor with my staff.
Okay, so it just makes things a little more slow going. But moving
Yeah.
into this next chamber, it is, relatively flat ground. It's not like super smooth. It's a mixture of gravel. It's the same type of terrain you found at the beginning area when you dropped down from the cave down into the central chamber or the main chamber. It's definitely a lot smaller, and you can see that there is.
Look at that!
What, can you see it?
Yeah.
So it's 150 feet of dark vision. As soon as he moved in, we all saw it.
Uh-huh. Okay, so technically, this ledge that is here, this is the problem with not doing Theater of the Mind and doing an actual full dungeon map, and I can't necessarily, differentiate. There's actually a ledge that's about 10 or 12 feet high, so you actually technically wouldn't be able to see in like all the way into that room, like what's on the floor of the room. You can, however, hear snoring from inside that chamber. That looks like, just to kind of move things along a little bit, it looks like there's a statue that was up against the wall of this large central chamber that like the wall broke open and the statue that was up against it, and apparently a sarcophagus, which I tried to get the shadowing detailed in to make it look like it's tilting out of the actual room and down into this cave, but it like got pushed back. The statue slid back and is leaning against the left-hand side of the wall of this cave that you've now found yourselves in, and it looks like this cave leads back into the main area, and like I said, it's only about a 10 or 12 foot like high like cliff almost, and about a 10-15 foot wide opening that's all jagged from like the walls having been broken in. There's a statue. The statue looks like a really crudely made, oh, hold on, before I get this wrong, a dwarf. You can't actually see all that stuff that you can see right now. You can see when you're looking up and into it, it looks like there was like a glass dome that is mostly broken, and there was like arches that support the roof of this main central chamber. Like I said, mostly broken. There's like glass bits that are kind of hanging down slightly, and also some vines, interestingly enough, that have somehow made their way from the surface, and you're like in a subterranean mountain cavern where this building is just placed into.
It's kind of like if the building was just swallowed by the mountain.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Is it possible to roll to see if I recognize the statue, like of who it is?
Do you want to get closer to it? To get it closer, because right now you're looking at it from the back right.
I don't know. Maybe it's modeled after a particular, maybe it's a commonplace statue. I don't know.
Maybe it's your grandpa.
Yeah, it could be.
Hey, Finn, some smooth moves, man, getting across with those darts. Well done.
Thank you. I felt like I needed to make up for what I had done before.
I didn't see all that, man, but I'm pretty impressed. I thought I just gotta glare back at the orb. Thought my stones would do something.
I'm sure they will come in handy later on. So
Thanks,
don't
man.
worry.
Speaking of people who aren't as useful as they seem, where's Zenladir?
Oh. He's somewhere.
I think he's in the
Probably
main
on-
room.
Oh, he's in the main chamber. He's way back in
Yeah.
the main chamber. I didn't even bring him up here.
Whatever.
There it is.
He can hang out back there. Like, do we need him? He can hang out with what's his name.
How long does Pass Without Trace last?
It's an hour.
An hour. Yeah.
So do we still have it?
I'd say you're probably towards the end of it, but yeah.
Yeah, so like 5 minutes left.
So I'd give it 10.
10. All right. So. And you said right now we don't see the dinosaur, right?
I know that you can all see it on
Yeah.
the map, obviously, which is kind of a
But
little bit of a ruination, but it's fine. You can all
Yeah.
pretend that you don't see it. No, you definitely don't see it right now.
we don't see it, all right?
It's not standing up in the chamber, but yeah, it's not standing up in the chamber. So you hear snoring from some large creature coming from inside of this chamber, but that's, you assume, is the one with the teeth that
Yeah.
were pressed up against the thing. Yep.
All right. So we're gonna keep going this way, guys, or
Yeah, man. You know what? Just to help us kind of get through again, I can help us move a little bit swiftly so we don't wake up Sleeping Beauty over there. How's that sound?
I kind of already got that going. You mean like pass without a trace, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I used that earlier and still going right now.
Yeah, I'm saying you only
I
got a
fixed
couple
it.
minutes left.
It.
Can you? Oh, you can still see.
Yeah, we can
That's
still
weird.
see it.
That's weird. Okay, so
We can still
it's
see
so
the T-Rex.
so shared vision is on, right?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
But if we
And
click on our
I added
token
I added a
specifically,
terrain. I added a terrain wall there, which should give you vision, but not allow
Like-
you to see like live on the other side. So like you have a, but because of your double sight, it bypasses terrain walls, which is not a good thing. That's bad. That's a very bad
so
thing.
dumb.
That's
Let's
very bad.
Whoa! I
X-ray
love double
vision.
sight.
Wait a
X-ray
second.
vision.
Wait a second. Wait a second. Does that mean? No, you didn't see
Earlier-
the you didn't see the secret
No.
door in the wall. Okay. Okay.
Well,
It's
after
probably 'cause
you,
we are
you uncovered it.
of it. Yeah, probably is why.
Okay. Anyways, whatever. What are you guys doing?
That's.
Um,
I'm gonna walk in third.
Quietly sneak forward a little bit, watch for more traps just in case, but
Okay.
yeah,
sneak
mind
forward.
if I use my passive
healthy.
investigation of 23 to look for traps?
Sure. Sure. That's fine. Well, I mean, no, because passive isn't active, and you're actively looking for traps. And
I'm not
and I reversed it, and I
actively
should
looking
have
for stuff.
I should
I
have used
25 all the way.
yeah. You weren't actively looking for that secret passageways, and I should have had it be just that Louise just saw it and nobody else, and not had anybody roll for it. And I will do that going forward. Anyways, your passive investigation of 23 reveals nothing on the floor.
Thank
You
you.
feel confident that there are no traps on your way to the statue or this cliff edge that leads up into the main chamber.
Yeah, you had to beat 25. That's why.
That's
Yeah,
possible.
you're
It's
right.
possible.
You're right.
All right, so
Just had to get all-
Or I could have you roll for it.
Go
Yeah.
up to the-
Well, I mean,
So-
I feel like if I'm actively looking, I should roll. But I mean, we're entering the chamber now, right?
or at least getting up to that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
we'll see.
then, yeah, I'll look.
The game's
for any
not paused.
kind of,
Move your
like,
tokens up to the statue.
I'll look for any kind of like raised tiles, any like thin tripwires, anything like that. I'll give it a
Okay.
look see.
Go ahead and make an investigation check.
Oh, I passed 25.
You sure did.
Ah,
Nice.
nice.
There are no traps. That you feel very, very confident that there
Guys,
are no traps in this
I
area.
am so confident that there's no traps in here. Let's move forward.
Moving.
That statue look familiar now that we're up there?
So Thrall, who was the one who specifically asked about it, it looks like at one time was a very well crafted dwarf with a large two-handed, not a warhammer, but almost like what you'd use on a forge, but way too big, which is kind of strange. Basic leather apron over the front of them, flowing hair kind of carved backwards, and even though that's not what the statue on the on the map represents. It doesn't matter. That's what I had. Yeah, looks like a figure of note in history. And then upon further investigation, at the base of the statue, there's a plaque. And the plaque reads, Buzzmot Onyx Digger. That's obviously the name. And then there's a description, in quotations, that says, laid the foundation for the training grounds after Octavia was defeated. The sarcophagus is partially broken to the point it's like cracked in half. And then there's like a section of it that had hit a wall, and obviously like a corner of it broke off or something. And you can see inside, and there is dead. That's funny. There is indeed a body, a long dead body on the inside of a dwarf.
I'm guessing that's our hero.
For a second, you were going to say there's a long body in there.
Super long.
Long dwarf.
Long dwarf body.
Yeah.
So
Does
a human.
Does he have his signature hammer with him? I'm not.
There's not a
grave robbing.
So you'd have to like stick your. All you can see from the corner that's broken is the fact that there's a body in there. You'd have to like stick your head down in to see if you want
I will
to.
absolutely stick my head down and see.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, the followers of Zil did say we needed to clear the weight. They never said we couldn't take anything from the bodies.
Okay.
True.
Looking inside, its hands are rested in front, and there is indeed a much smaller version of the hammer. Basically, it's like an exaggeration. The statue was rather of the hammer that's there.
Oh, I want
So
it.
the statue's compensating for something else.
He wants it.
Can I like reach in and try to jimmy it out?
Is
Sure.
it magical?
Who cares? I want it.
Yeah. So you reach inside and grab onto the head of the hammer. And you kind of like tug on it, and the body kind of like isn't letting it go. Go ahead and make a strength check for me.
Guidance. Guidance.
Dead guy.
Threll is going to get mummy disease. He's going to be cursed and it's some sort of disease from mummy dust.
I want to be
That
officially
works.
not a part of the party for this.
What? You don't want to be a mummy?
Did you? Duke guided you. Does that apply to this? This is a strength. Yeah, of course. Yeah, it should.
Yeah,
It's a check.
it's a check.
So a 7 total.
He's
Despite
armed with me.
despite the hard as you pull, something is causing the skeleton to not relinquish this hammer. You feel as though if the sarcophagus top was off, you could pull the whole body out with your strength, but it's not letting go of this hammer. Not
So like
currently.
in my frustration of trying to wiggle it out, I just kind of like whisper to the corpse, even though it's a corpse, like, buddy, come on, no, can I just have this? Like, I got dwarf stuff to do. Let me just have this. You don't need it. You're dead. Give me that.
In this moment, I want there to be like a voice that enters your head, but there's nothing. I want you to hear like a no kind of sound, but there's nothing. There's nothing that happens. There's no sound. It's just the sound of rattling bones on the inside of this. You do recall the follower of Zil saying that they were looking for people inside of this museum.
Well, here's
So.
the whole person.
It used to be a people. Now it's an object.
As for rules, it's an object. Yeah.
Yeah.
So as per rules, Revivify doesn't work because you can't cast it on an object, and a dead body is considered to be an object.
Interesting. Okay. It's only mostly dead.
Mostly.
Mostly dead.
You're not considered dead and an object until a minute after you're dead. You have that time.
Do you continue pulling on it? Do you want to make another check? Does somebody else want to do something? Are you going to ask for help? What's happening here?
Yeah, I'll just try everyone else. Hey, guys, help me get this cool hammer out of here, would you?
What do you do? You got to go do that right now, Freckles?
I absolutely have to do this at this exact moment. Yes.
You did realize there's a giant like lizard, just like
Yeah, it's asleep.
20
whatever.
feet that way.
Don't leave with this.
Some kind of creature up there.
I want to sneak my way past the list.
I'm gonna
Speaking
do.
of which, I'd like everybody to make a stealth check, please.
I'm gonna do
And we do
detect
have
magic.
pass without a trace, right?
Sure.
Yeah.
At this point, you still do.
16.
Boy, 19.
16. Oh wait, I have a disadvantage.
Wow.
16.
26.
28.
God, pass without a trace is stupid.
Really amazing.
Oh.
Yeah, it's amazingly stupid. Or stupidly amazing. More.
Yep.
Bless, that is so dumb.
Did anybody get lower than a 15? Everybody was higher than 15, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, the lowest we got was Zender and Duke, who got 16.
Technically, Zanladir's there, but you know. Anyways,
Whatever.
okay,
But is he really, though? Is he?
NPCs don't count.
he is. He does count. Okay, so you guys feel confident that you're being quiet and having this conversation at this point. And you hear the snoring. Continuing on.
Trell, before you take the hammer, remember what what's his face, the elf, said at the start? If you take an object, like your soul is like belongs to the master or something like that.
Yeah, if I take it out of here, we gotta stab that guy anyway, so I might as well take this now.
And you're gonna use the hammer to stab the guy.
Yeah, why not?
He's
It's classic.
he's got a point. I mean, he's not.
No, it's a hammer. A hammer doesn't have a
She's
point.
not. But she's not
It's
taking
flat.
it out. But she's not
Alright,
taking
it's the
it
same.
out.
It's the same one as the statue.
Anyway,
this thing's
alright,
gotta
alright.
be awesome.
Wait,
Shut
but
up!
is
Shut
it
up.
just a hammer or is it magical?
Shut up!
I'm gonna do detect magic real quick.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, the hammer lights up. You've got 30 feet, right? So we'll say you're kind of like somewhere near the sarcophagus, right? So that is the only thing.
Yeah, 30 feet.
30 feet. That's the only thing that pings for you is the hammer, and obviously everybody around you.
Yeah.
Right. Well, the hammer is magic, whatever it is.
What type of magic?
Enchantment. School of enchantment.
It's enchanted of some kind.
All right. So, do you want to help getting it out of there?
Yeah, that'd be great.
All right. Yeah, I'll help Trell.
Okay. Go ahead and make another strength check with advantage.
Right.
Since I wasn't there, I would like to if possible, would I be able to just remember backwards and just be like, they did say if you take it out of the cave, right? Not if you just take an item.
Correct.
Like that is what they
Yeah.
said. Okay. All right.
I believe it was once you decide to take it out of the cave.
It's the words that Vudo said was if as soon as you decide you're taking it out of the cave with you, is that you're making that decision, which means perhaps maybe he's lying.
So
or
right when
maybe
he saw the warhammer, the moment he saw it,
before he touched it.
before
he
he
didn't
got
even
hands
know
on
it was magical.
As soon as he saw,
he-
as soon as he saw the statue and read the inscription, he's like, "I bet this guy's got a hammer, and I'm taking it."
Yeah. What if the magical item was the apron, not the hammer?
Well,
Interesting.
the apron would have
Butcher's bit or
disintegrated by now.
Not if it's
Not
magic.
if it's magic.
Yeah. And then,
Okay, so
Well, is
21.
it there?
You reach inside, and like Louise kind of like tries to pull open the sarcophagus a little bit, and you get it, and the one of the fingers snaps on the body, and it releases it, and there's no sound. There's like a of dust from inside as you pull it out, and now you have this very, very nice looking hammer with a stained wooden handle, like black leather wrapped around it, and then the head itself has like a dark blue tint to it, almost like it's kind of dull. It's not like bright, vibrant royal blue. It's just like some kind of like lead. It looks like lead. Let's put it that way.
This feels mildly wrong.
Don't worry about it.
Like we just desecrated something.
Because we literally did.
You don't know what the hammer does, but it's a fine looking hammer.
Neat. I'll just stash it. And,
He's like, we'll take a short rest. Now.
Right beside that.
I mean, it's snoozing. It's snoozing.
It definitely looks like a tool rather than a weapon. Put it that way. Yeah. So then the only thing of interest now in front of you is this main chamber. You can either backtrack and go somewhere else, or
Go forward.
Wow,
how are you getting up the 10 to 12 foot? It's just like a cut off section with part of the floor almost like hanging into the chamber. It's like broken. It's all broken.
Climb?
Wasn't the sarcophagus like a ramp up the thing?
Could get up on it, yeah, and climb up it, sure.
That's our path.
Sure. Okay, so you guys got to all get up there. Like just barely get up inside, and you can see now that there is a full-sized... I don't think none of you, maybe Xander, in a book he read once, maybe Xander would know what this is. But the rest of you, out of game, there's a full-sized T-Rex laying on the ground, asleep, just laying there, head right up against the doorway that you guys were looking at. You can now see the full double doors that are meant to be the giant main entrance that leads into the center, being very quiet and kind of will carry, for the time being, will carry the stealth checks over, and you guys, one by one, make your way up into this room. Now there is broken glass and shards of things all over the ground. Literally everywhere all over the ground here.
Do we want to...
I point past the T-Rex and tell everyone the bat plane is over there.
Xander definitely lingers for way too long just staring at it. Having many
Do we
thoughts.
want to go loud with this and like shoot it a bunch and kite it back through towards the other room where it probably can't get through, and just like shoot it from the safety of a tunnel?
I mean, we could.
I mean,
that could be our backup plan. That can be our backup plan if it wakes up and attacks us.
Yeah, this is a living marvel. I mean, I've never seen
that
anything
living
like
marvel
before.
was probably more than willing to eat you. You know how it is out in the wild.
Who cares?
I'm just going to give you, because you guys are all kind of like standing in
It's
the
a big
room, like,
lizard, who
whispering to
cares?
each other as you're having this conversation about maybe 20 feet from this monstrous looking lizard thing.
Before we climbed up into the room, as we're like on the ramp and getting ready to go in.
Okay.
But
Well,
yeah.
let me get. Do you want any more of a description of what's in the room right now, or do you want to just kind of deal with the lizard now and then figure it out later and get a full?
Well, there's a cart and some
Taking into account the whole room.
dead people and whatever that is on the table. I don't know. Was that a mini boat?
Lingerie.
Spelljammer.
Skyship models.
It does look like past the tail of this creature that's laying on the ground, there is probably some like a little bit elevated platforms that are probably only maybe a foot or two off the ground, made of stone. It looks like there was a display here. Maybe different means of travel, and then so like the top one would have been something, but there's a giant blood stain on the ground where the top one was. The second one down is an actual cart. Looks like, and on the paintings, which you're too far away to make out too many details, but it seems to display, by the way, these are not mirrors, these are paintings. I don't have better tokens to use for them along the walls here. Kind of display differences of travel as technology progressed throughout the ages, and there's representations in real life here in the museum a cart, and then the final one, you can only make out the fact that there's like maybe a boat, and then what looks like a boat with wings on it, and then some kind of hunk of metal that you can't make out what it is.
What's a boat?
You know what a boat is.
My character has no idea what the hell a boat is.
Yeah,
Never
you
seen
know
a boat.
You've
Never
probably
saw you.
seen a boat.
Land travelers.
Yeah, but
You still know what a boat is.
Yeah.
Also, I can't move my
You
token.
may not have seen one.
They can't move past the terrain wall.
Okay. Are
So
you gonna?
that's
you're
what a terrain wall does.
Only stops our movement. You know, like a real wall.
But it doesn't stop our vision.
Okay.
Like a real wall.
Are you really? You're moving up that close to this thing?
I mean, what am I gonna do? I gotta walk around the coffin.
Okay. Are you What are you doing?
I'm
Exactly.
Sneaking.
Just sneak. Time to just sneak past.
Sneakering.
I'm going.
And before we continue, would we still have Pass Without a Trace? Or would we need to cast it again?
You're gonna need to cast it again. Probably coming up here pretty. Like now.
Do you want to do
Yeah.
it, or do you want me to do it?
I will.
All right.
You have to make new rolls when it's recasted, or
I would say at this point, seeing as Thrall is just walking into the room and like, like was it Mr. Magoo? Not Mr. Magoo. What's the other one?
yeah, like the Pink Panther.
Pink Panther.
Just
Just like. Okay. Yeah. Everybody roll another stealth check now. There is glass all over the floor. It's literally everywhere, and every step you're taking is making some noise. And you're already.
Oh, I thought
I'm gonna ask for disadvantage on these rolls.
I already have disadvantage.
I thought it was
Me
up here
too.
was where the debris was. But you mean like
got a 17.
The double that ones.
I got 13, guys.
Yeah, so
You said-
Well, there's two nat ones in there, so but it's plus 10 though.
we're gonna
Double
find a
that
T-Rex.
ones! 1 in 400!
Yeah.
Disadvantage at ones
13.
for 15.
We're fighting a T-Rex.
We're fighting a T-Rex.
Xander's so sad, guys. Xander is so sad that we're fighting this.
Okay.
Wait,
So
just for
as
fun,
you're-
could Zender roll the disadvantage because you only rolled the once? Just to see if you roll in that one as well.
Who?
Ew.
No, I rolled
Ew.
twice. I rolled separately.
Oh yeah, you rolled a 10 before, yeah.
Oh,
I
I
rolled
10
10
to
the
3.
first time.
Or 10 to, yeah.
Oh, there.
I mean,
Okay.
the spell says shadows silence, but it doesn't say it makes you silent.
Yeah, but we still rolled nat ones.
We just cast it again, right?
I
I'd
rolled
say
2
maybe
nat
to-
ones on my own, which is ridiculous.
I was just trying to think of a way to mitigate the disadvantage, but I
As
don't think
Okay.
it'll
fate
stop you.
would have it.
If you
Um,
still
a
step on the
3
glass, it would make the sound.
Okay.
And a
so-
5.
Right. So you guys are like really confident, especially with the pass without a trace, as you're like kind of moving around, and like somebody's footstep kind of crunches on some of the glass, and you're like look over, and it just kind of shuffles a little bit and doesn't really do anything, and then somebody else crunches on it, and it just like rolls a little bit, but doesn't open its eyes, and just kind of like lays its head on its side a little bit, and then who was the third person? It was Razier, and then Louise, and then wait, what?
No, Razier.
Oh, you rolled
two
two
nat
nat ones. Oh, gotcha.
I
Okay.
rolled 2 nat ones.
Okay,
I
gotcha.
rolled a 13.
And then
13.
Louise also rolled the nat 1.
Right.
I rolled a 3.
I
so it
just
is-
realized I didn't roll for
What?
my bear. Might have gotten a nat one as well. Let's go.
Let's go. Let's see it. Let's see it. Least stealthy party ever.
I'll have to roll twice because I can't use my
You're all
no,
just.
no nat ones.
Oh,
It's
but
pretty
that's
low.
still pretty bad though. Okay.
Yeah, but it's still with the plus 10 and the plus so he's like 19 actually.
All right.
Yeah.
Because my proficiency bonus and the plus 10.
So you guys all rolled, and you rolled with disadvantage. So I'm gonna say that all of you are actually in the room, even though 2 of you were actually down on the sarcophagus. So if you wouldn't mind, why can't I move the map? I want to let me. Why? I literally. Oh, wait, what?
We
There we
can't-
Guys, the T-Rex is uninjured.
Oh yeah.
Okay. So it does wake up with a roar, and I know that Razir is going to say, I immediately start Eldritch Blasting it as soon as I see it. It gets up and into the air and does, the whole expedition thing. Everybody go and roll initiative. Let's go ahead and just kick this battle off.
Oh,
Yay.
God.
Oh, man.
Sorry, I forgot. So 13, I forgot to select my token.
23.
Me too.
19.
That's a 16 for me.
Give me a second.
Brazier.
We're breaking ties with Dex, right? So Thrall will go before me.
What was that, Donnie?
Why are you exhibiting light right now?
What? Am I exhibiting light?
You are, and when I'm in my own vision, you're the only thing with a light source.
You do.
Yeah, he is.
When
It's funny.
you're in dread form, don't you glow dim light?
No.
I don't know what the hell is happening.
Oh, no, I don't have anything.
That is so weird.
Why am I going, Tim?
Should all
But
be in
it
black
doesn't
and
do it
white.
when I'm in prayer.
You have 15-foot dim light on you for some reason.
Yeah.
All
Why?
right, well, I'm going to remove it right now.
Oh, I think maybe you had a halo on or something.
Nope.
Oh,
No,
that might have
that's
been
dude.
it.
Razir definitely doesn't have a halo.
There's
That's
no
for sure.
light right now.
No,
I haven't
from
put
Duke.
light on anyone.
Dude, put on
Okay.
Oh, dude.
I haven't put light on anyone.
I'm going to
4
add
sessions ago and it just never came off.
Threll.
That probably sounds right.
Louise is also not on the...
Yeah,
Turn
I
tracker.
forgot to select my token. So yeah, I had
Shaku
23.
is also not-
13, sorry. 1.
Whatever,
Just give me a second.
Right.
Xander, you're at 23.
Yeah.
Duke, 17.
No, it's actually 16.
Okay. Razir was at 15.18.
Yeah.
You already did that. Shaku's 15.
19.
Okay. Louise
I was 13.
and Throw.
23.
23.
Yeah.
Where
19.
is Sam Levere? There he is.
Somewhere in the dungeon.
Not in the room yet. Dan Ledier should be staying a good bit behind us at all times.
He is. He's going to be... I'm going to start him over here just coming off the sarcophagus up into the room, but he is still in the room.
I
As
hope
that's-
he's learned his lesson about haste.
We'll see about that. I think we have everybody. Did I forget anybody? No, everybody's there. 5, 6. Is the bearer shares your initiative?
Yeah, it shares my initiative.
Gotcha. Okay, top of the round.
One spell at a time.
Right?
Threll.
Cool.
We're gonna have it stand up, and it turns around.
Oh,
It's facing you, Threll.
Oh, that's scary.
Uh-oh.
is big.
It's a big boy. It's a big boy.
How
Who
tall are
learned
these?
reduce? Make it tiny T-Rex.
How tall are these coffins?
Tiny
and
Rex.
How much movement would it take to jump over them?
An extra 5 feet.
Okay, so. Oops.
So,
Oh, sorry.
Oh, it's paused.
so we're
we'll
basically
say
counting the
10.
sarcophagus as this difficult terrain, right?
Right. Yep.
Alright.
You can't jump over the statues. They're pretty tall.
They're huge, yeah. So
Probably could.
I'll just run over here, knock my arrows, and start shooting.
Shoot it.
Well, that's not ideal.
Oh. Yeah. Thankfully, there's nobody. Nobody's in your line of sight.
That's okay. Let me just shoot it again.
We've rolled so many nat ones.
Yeah, it's to cancel out all the nat 20s I got
Yeah.
while we were getting
Yep.
here.
25 hits.
Yeah.
Cool. So from the arrow, I'm gonna use my feet to re-roll that particular die damage.
You're gonna
Uh,
put your feet up on the table and roll the die.
No,
Yeah,
you gotta do one of those
absolutely.
cool trick shots with the foot.
And then I'm going to use a psionic strike with this one as well.
Okay. We just
Nice.
11
11.
piercing,
It's
9
11
force.
piercing and 9 force, so 20 damage total.
And we'll knock down 2
It's
arrows.
immune to force damage. Oh yeah.
That's
Nope.
not real.
Magic T-Rex.
Get out of here. Nothing's immune to force damage. I don't think.
Okay.
There's a couple things.
So you fire it off and it like finds some soft spot, like hits it, and it like kind of like flails around with its little bitty arms. It's angry. You've angered it.
I use one. The first arrow sticks into it. The second arrow hits that arrow even farther. Extra force damage.
Do you accent charge?
No.
All right.
All right, Xander.
I'm gonna use Phantasmal Force to make it believe that there's like steel wrapped around its foot and it can't move.
Woo!
Okay.
It's within a 10-foot cube. It's within a 10-foot cube, so it's basically it would be like wrapped around one of its feet. Basically, this just metal, like this steel box that it just can't move from.
Okay.
And it like if it fails, it feels like there's a steel box and it can't move.
What's the save?
16 now.
Wisdom save?
Intelligence.
Intelligence.
It has none of that. Brains the size of
Hopefully
a walnut.
It has 3 of those.
You don't know.
Actually,
You don't
actually,
know.
this T-Rex PhD.
Oh no!
And its doctorate.
He's working on his thesis now. He's not a full doctor
Dr.
yet.
Paleo.
That's a
Okay.
9. It's a 9.
Okay, so it's so
It's gonna use
convinced-
legendary resistance. No, I'm just joking.
Okay,
It's-
I was gonna
So
say,
it is-
legend.
it's so convinced that there's like a metal, like a steel box around its foot that it just can't move. Is the
Is that
illusion
really a
I'm
function
putting
of
up.
Phantasmal Force? I gotta read this.
Yeah, so I'll press cast on it.
Okay.
So it sends there. Did it send?
Not the description.
No, I
That's
think
there it
fine.
what
is.
you need,
No,
what
it's
you
there
need
now,
to
it's there
do
now.
is
You click on it and
just
it'll
click,
say the
yeah,
whole thing.
and you
Oh.
can say once you click on it. Oh, yeah, that's magical. I was gonna say on D&D
The
Beyond, you can just
phantasm includes
click on
sound,
the
temperature,
spell
and other
and
stimuli,
display VD.
also evident only to the creature. While a target's affected by the spell, the target treats the phantasm as if it were real. The target rationalizes any logical outcomes from interacting with the phantasm.
But I mean, could a T-Rex see that his feet are stuck in metal boxes?
How would you rule this?
I mean, it would have to have a reason to look down at its foot, but also it's a spell, so it makes it think that this is happening because you say that it thinks it's happening. So then that's what's causing it to look down at its foot. But then it's just going to try and move its foot, and its foot moves.
But it's there's the investigation part.
But it believes that its foot isn't moving, even though its foot is moving.
Yeah, it says the creature can use an action to examining the phantasm with an intelligence investigation check against your special DC. So,
Okay, so I
see
would
if
say
it's
that,
real or not.
so basically what would happen in this case is that you create this cage and it tries to pull its foot free and it is able to walk because it's not like you're physically keeping it there. It just like believes that there's this cage. I'm gonna let you not waste a spell here and or choose something else if you want it to do damage, because I feel like it's not gonna waste it's not gonna waste its turn.
Yeah, no, I get it. I was hoping it would do a little more. Okay, so
It's
then
too stupid to realize.
too
that it's
stupid
fake.
to realize.
Or that it's just try.
What if I were to do a metal cage around its mouth and it couldn't bite?
The same problem. It would
Is
still
it the same
just
problem,
try.
you think? I
It
mean,
would just-
yeah. All right.
Might have to
Okay.
take a route of something. Like
Then I'll
there's
I'll
Hit it with
make-
one of that ice one.
stuff on.
yeah. Then I'm gonna
So,
instead of doing that,
I'm just gonna tell you, T-Rexes have an int of 2.
I know.
So
but
it's not. It doesn't
that's why
care
I
that
wanted
there's a
to take- I
cage.
wanted
It's
to-
just trying.
That's why
to-
I wanted to take advantage of Phantasmal Force. But okay, so if that's the case, then I'm just gonna use a
have
level
it-
2 Rhymes Binding Ice on it instead.
You could have it
Can
do.
I- can I
You could
do
have it
that?
do damage, or you could have it do like darkness all around its head, and then it would think it's blind. or something. But yeah, if you want to use Rhymes Binding Ice, you can do that as well.
I think the binding ice might be. more
Yeah,
efficient.
I'm gonna do Ryan's Binding Ice then.
So
I was
don't-
hoping
so
I
don't-
could do Phantasmal Force, but yeah, so Ryan's Binding Ice. So Constitution save of 16, which it'll probably pass, but who knows?
It does probably has lots of that.
That's a 20.
Okay, so then it's gonna take. It takes. That's not bad. So it takes half that. So 6 points of cold damage.
Yep.
And it's not hindered by ice.
Okay. So
And that one blew me up.
so you
2
literally
sixes and a
like
one.
a small blizzard like kind of flies across the room, engulfs a portion of the T-Rex that's in front of you, and it like gets cold feet and starts stomping around. Yeah, take some damage. It's tickling it.
I don't have any bonus actions. That's the end of my turn.
Okay. Shaku.
How tall is the ceiling?
Is he actually logged into the game? How do you... It's like 30 feet tall.
30 feet tall? How tall is that? Oh, that's crap. See, I was debating between turning into a spider or turning into a hyena. If it was the tallest ceiling, I'd crawl my way up and around. But I can't do that. Shaku's gonna run as far as he can towards away.
I
I
mean,
imagine we're still pressing through.
like standing on its tiptoes, it
Yeah.
maybe can reach with its teeth to the top of the ceiling. Maybe, probably not. If it jumps, it could get you on the ceiling.
That's what I'm thinking. It'd probably jump and bite me.
Maybe. You could certainly try.
Instead, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna book it up to my boys. I'm not gonna leave you guys out there as far as I can, away from avoiding melee range of the gosh darn.
Shaku
dinosaurs.
has. You don't have dark vision, do you?
I don't.
Oh. Oh, that's a problem.
That's a problem. It is pitch black in here. There is no light of any kind. You don't even know where you are. You followed voices up into this chamber.
Could you have given him the orb?
You probably would have figured this problem out way sooner than this and done something about it.
As soon as we got down, like,
All right,
hey,
so let's-
do you guys have a light or something like that?
Right. So let's not debate about this for 10 minutes. Just pick a light and put it on. Tell me what it is so I can add it.
Yeah, I'll use the torch.
Torch?
Torch.
So you're gonna hold the
Does the
torch.
T-Rex
Does the T-Rex
must?
have... Well, there's some funny things about this T-Rex you may or may not know about.
I thought I put light on Shaku before anyway, because that was an issue we had last session, and I had cast the light
Was it?
for a reason. Yeah,
Yeah, there was something. Yeah.
That's what
there
it
was something
that's
because
right.
I was in front of him, and I put the light on someone so he could see. That's why Razir had it on him. Then.
Oh.
Maybe, yeah.
All right, so you let's say you cast it on Shaku's bong. Okay.
Yep.
It's 15 feet of dim light. Is that what it is?
It's like a torch, like so.
Yeah, 20-foot radius, dim light.
20
10 feet. Yeah. Bright light in a 20-foot radius, dim light for an additional 20 feet.
So 20 dim, 20 bright. Boop. Okay. All right, Shaku. What are you doing? Let's get the show on the road here.
All right, I'm gonna cast Erupting Earth. I'm not gonna run up since you can't see what's on the other
I
side.
cast Mold Earth and try to move the dinosaur.
So I'm gonna cast Erupting Earth and put a cone of difficult terrain at his feet. Between it's a 20-foot cube
Okay.
between him and my party.
20-foot cube. Okay.
Yes. And so, yep, it's a fountain of churned earth and stone erupts. So, creature takes 3d12 bludgeoning damage.
What's the save?
Ducks.
Dex saving throw.
DC 16, it looks like.
That's a 3.
Nice! The damage you did a whopping 22.
Low.
But he's
22,
in,
22 damage?
yeah,
This is bludgeoning
Bludgeoning
damage? Okay.
22 bludgeoning damage. And he's in difficult terrain,
Okay.
so hopefully that slows him down.
So this is called Erupting Earth. So
I
it's
love
just
this
like
spell.
fissures. Just I didn't read the description.
The fountain of turned earth and stone erupts in a 20-foot cube.
I
It's
used
just
to
kind of
have
shit
this-
up from
I mean,
below.
okay, so
This-
you guys are
this was my
in an
damage spell as
underground
Coda.
tomb where the ceiling is barely held together by the beams that are here, and all of a sudden all of the stonework and the tile that's here just starts erupting all around, like the base where those like model ships are sitting on right now. It just like gets partially broken apart and taken into the churning earth, almost like a rototiller is just turning all the ground around here. But there's no loose earth, it's just stone. So it's like grinding stone, and the I almost called it an elephant. I don't know why I almost called it. It's a T-Rex. I don't know why the elephant is just like stopping, trying to like make its way, and its like foot gets caught and like squeezed in between pieces of the stonework, and it cries out, "Rah!" and it's shaking the walls as bits and pieces of the rock from above, as the entire chamber, there it is, okay. The chamber starts shaking is the word I was looking for, as bits and pieces of the rock start falling downwards, and more of the glass hits, and it like falls to the ground, and then picks itself back up.
Funny
from
enough,
a-
you actually mix the French pronunciation and the English pronunciation of chamber.
Chamber?
In French, it's chambre.
Oh, that's fine.
I don't know if it'll really come into play, but can you move the cube like 10 feet to the west?
Like just in front of you.
Yeah. So so it can't
Here,
go through
is
that.
this is good?
Yeah.
Or you want more?
That won't hinder us, right? Just them? Just the T-Rex.
Correct.
And I'll go a bonus action wild shape into Spider King and crawl up that wall.
Wild shape is a bonus action?
Moon
This is
druid.
when you're a moon druid. Or, moon druid.
Yep.
I think it's called combat wall shape.
It says as an action.
Yeah, but that's for regular
Oh, combat
druids.
wild
He's
shape.
a moon. Yeah, he's a moon druid. That's why.
Does the Spider King have dark vision?
I don't think so.
You can
I'm
use
pretty-
wild shape as a bonus action, and you can use a bonus action to expend one spell slot to regain HP. Okay.
Oh, it wasn't too big.
You can just do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can.
So you
I have
got
dark
so
vision now.
mark off use of wild shape, and you want to be a spider. Gotcha.
30 feet.
Speed's not the greatest.
And now he has dark vision.
Haven't got
Uh,
Yeah. Is it large piece? It's large too.
Large.
2x2.
And it has two heads. What the hell?
Hoping I can reach a T-Rex. I don't know if that works.
Okay. Well, we're just gonna say that you turn into a spider. I'm supposed to be able to click and drag tokens onto you and have you transform into them, but it's not working. So we're gonna. How far up are you climbing? What's your climb speed?
30 feet.
Right there up the
30
ceiling.
feet.
Yeah.
Okay. So you move 5 feet over to the wall, and then 30, and then 25 feet up the ceiling. So your elevation is now going to be 25 feet, which I can set.
Yep.
Okay. So now you're almost at the apex of the top archway, just kind of looking downwards. Yeah. I would say that because of that, you're probably like here. Because you started climbing up and then it starts to curve upwards. So you're like kind of like over it and looking down now, 25 feet up. Is that 30 feet is at the top of that archway. Got it? Make sense? That was your bonus action. Are you doing anything else? No, you don't have, you can't do anything else.
No, yeah.
Movement, action, bonus action. Duke.
All right, so I'm gonna move over this way. I start running, choo 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 choo.
Okay.
And then I go shoo 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 right here, and then I'm gonna pull out my short sword. I'm gonna take a slice on his leg.
Do it up.
Poison is
Don't
attack
it on
rolls
that
too,
T
right?
Rex.
It's just poison is disadvantage.
Yeah, on attack and ability checks.
That was terrible. It's 11. 10.
10 does not hit, unfortunately. Go to hit it,
All right.
and it's like you hit it, but it's like sliding off of the thick hide that it has.
All right, then I will bonus action. I'm gonna bonus action punch him right in his thigh. Give him a Charlie horse.
You punch this T-Rex.
You 19.
19 hits.
Heck yeah. When your sword doesn't work, use bare hands.
Use hands.
Stunning strike. No.
No, he's level
I don't
4
get
at
that.
Monk.
I get
He
that.
doesn't
I
have
know.
it.
I know. Okay, so total of 6 damage.
Nope, hold on.
Ooh,
And
here's the
then-
song. Here it is.
As I punch him, you see. Hold on, where is it? My hand kind of darkens. As I spend a key point, the light that normally emits from me kind of deepens, and it retracts from my fist, and a dark energy emits instead. And I do an extra D4 plus 4.
Nice.
So
What is this
7 more
specifically?
damage. Hand of harm. I just hit him with necrotic damage.
So you just like pull back and like full, again, this is all Dragon Ball Z is all it is, right? So all
That's
this
what I am.
dark energy just forms around your hand and you just like, and like punch it inwards and you hear this like crackling sound as the skin actually cracks and you like reveal flesh underneath this lizard's leg. Okay.
Yeah,
so
I
you
did.
actually did 13 damage.
Heck yeah, and then with that, I will end it.
Razir, you better kill this thing. Because it's
Oh,
about
yeah, sure,
it's about to be its turn.
If you just let me auto crit, I can probably do that.
I don't think you can.
No? Oh.
Nope. Somebody's about to get eaten. Just saying.
Who could it be?
Oh, the person who's right up next to it.
We're gonna bonus action Form of Dread.
Okay.
Transform. So I get a bonus 12 temp HP.
Okay.
Because I get that, and it's dope. And then it's time to just Eldritch Blast this thing twice, because I get to do that now at level 5.
Uh-huh.
So boop.
Crit it twice.
No.
And the circles
no.
crit.
How about a 10? Does 10 hit?
10 does not hit, no.
How about a 14?
14 hits.
Oh, thank goodness.
It's a big creature. It's not hard to hit. Unless you roll 10. He rolled minimum damage, didn't he? He did. He did.
7 force damage.
And wisdom save, right?
Oh, right.
And a wisdom save now, please.
Yeah. Okay. Oops. I rolled just to see what it was going to roll, but it doesn't seem as though your frightened effect has any effect on
It's
this.
immune.
Cannot be frightened. Okay.
But it did roll it rolled a 13, which wouldn't have beat your DC. I just wanted to see what it was going to roll, but it didn't matter.
And then I'm gonna move 10, 15, 20, 25. I'm gonna move over here. Be in a different spot.
Okay.
And
So you fire
that's my
off,
turn.
and you see a chunk of its. Oh man, that circle's so giant.
Intense.
Okay, so I'm gonna be honest.
Magic.
I'm gonna be
Wait, I
honest with
just-
you. Go ahead. What were you gonna say? Felix?
I was gonna say because I just realized because of the circle that technically Duke is in its space. So how do you roll that?
He is in its space, but it is. So what I was about to say was I adjusted the token because this creature is only it's a large, huge, and then gargantuan.
You know,
Right.
it's and then colossal, right?
No, I think is it really? I thought gargantuan was
Gargantuan, colossal's
relative.
not.
Right. So technically, this beast is huge, but when it's the correct size, it looks absolutely tiny on the map.
Because it fits the tail, hit the head in the square.
And then, so I adjusted the size of the token, and I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna make it that big, and we're just gonna play around it.
All right.
And because it's huge, you can occupy the same space as it because it's above you. So
All right.
you can do that, and it's fine.
So we're just gonna hit its leg,
Because
basically.
this is how big it's supposed to be, or it should be, you know. And when you fight an ancient dragon, if that happens, it's going to fill up the entire screen, because that's what I'm going to do. And you're going to have to just deal with it.
It's gonna take our whole movement just to get around it.
And when you
like
fight
that and stuff like
a
that.
Shadow of the Colossus monster, it's going to be in its own map, or maybe multiple maps.
It'll be the map.
It'll be the map. Exactly. Okay.
Yeah.
It is, however, its turn.
Oh no.
Let's see. This. The first hit is going to be towards Duke.
Oh no.
Very nice of you, thank you.
Who's surprised?
No.
Let's see. What
Don't
is
fix it.
this here? No, it's just a. That's a 12 to hit.
No.
Unbelievable. 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 Okay.
What? You didn't hit Duke?
No, that I rolled an attack and I didn't hit anything with its ridiculous plus to hit. Okay. So that goes down to bite onto Duke, and Duke like dodges out of the way, and its snout just hits into the erupted earth that's around it. It is then going to turn around and use its tail attack on Sheku.
All right.
Even though he's so far up there?
Well,
yeah.
It's
I'm up there.
it's got reach, and it's also a natural 20 to hit you.
Oh damn.
Uh-huh.
What?
Yes,
If he
yes,
goes out of the
I
spider
use it.
form-
Yes, I use it. Yes, yes.
Do
yes.
you?
Yes, I
Do you?
use it.
How much health does Sheku? Okay.
Not enough.
Wait. This is hitting Sheku
Uh-huh.
or Duke?
This is hitting Sheku.
Oh, I don't care then.
But, Tim, I do have to say, Sheku is a giant spider now, so he has 44
you
HP
have-
Oh,
on top of what he
Wait a
has
second.
right
He's 25 feet in the air. He wouldn't have been
Yeah.
able to use his tail attack on Sheku because he's 25 feet in the air.
Okay.
He, however, can use it on Xander because Xander is within range of his attack. And if it was anybody else, I would allow you to carry over the attack, and so it is a natural 20. So you can, if you choose to, use. I haven't told you how much damage it is or any of the effects of this tail attack yet.
Doesn't matter.
It's
you
a
should do
giant
it.
T-Rex.
I'm
and
gonna
he's
do
the
it.
wizard.
I'm gonna do it.
Okay.
Yeah,
So it's
the
a re-
wizard.
it's gonna reroll.
Max HP.
How much damage
That's
was it?
an 18 to hit.
Still hits.
Okay.
Don't you have shield, maybe?
I have shield, but I just used my reaction to make him reroll.
Ah, yeah, it's a
And
red.
it wouldn't have worked anyway because
Yeah.
even with shield, I'd only get 16.
Yeah, I forgot it was a reaction.
Can a tail swipe be counterspelled?
No.
What do you think about
24 points of bludgeoning damage. Sheku, just so you know, was about to take 41 points of bludgeoning damage.
Yeah.
I
You
would've
would
been
still
fine.
be a spider!
You would have still been a spider. Yeah, you would have been fine.
Wait,
If-
what?
If
The
I
spider?
hadn't, if I hadn't
44.
canceled out the crit, I would be down.
Yep. Okay.
It's 41.
So
is
it
exactly
swings
what I have.
around, boom, hits you, and like slams you up against like this like display table that has like crushed glass inside of it, and literally like pushes you down, and you're like, "Oh," like inside of it, hanging over the edge now. Yeah, that is the end of its turn. Louise, you're up.
I'll to flank the T-Rex with Duke. I need to be like over here, right?
How does that work? Because you're technically in its space.
Yeah.
Opposite it.
Okay, so technically, watch it move right now. Do you see how
Yeah.
gigantic this thing is?
Yeah, I know. It goes out of that.
Yeah, I
First you
shouldn't have
angle
moved
it.
into his space. I only did that because I wanted to be up next to the leg because I thought that was it. But really, I should be at
should be,
his,
like,
at the
It's
edge of
Over
his.
here.
You can see
Yeah,
where
that would
its
be, like,
square
right
is,
here.
right? You can see
mean,
where it
Yeah,
is.
but
Yeah,
I
when we
wasn't
hover
thinking.
over it. Yeah.
I mean,
All right,
with
I'll say-
this whole you could be in the space thing, we do have to make, or Tim has to make this decision on how being in the space works
Then
with flanking.
just be in the square that makes the most amount of sense. That is diametrically
So,
opposed to the wherever the other
I'd
person
say over
is.
here, like
I
if
would
we
say
were to
that,
say,
yeah, where
like
you just were.
he's like
No, I like the
basically
other
like here, right there. All right.
Just be here.
So, yeah, over here,
Yeah.
and
if you look at that's within the square, the opposite side.
And then if I move it, it's fine.
Oh yeah, because there's the single square there. Yeah. All right, and the bear's gonna. If I move over this, it's difficult terrain, right? Over here.
Yes. Yep.
So
That would count as two
15,
squares of different. Yeah.
yeah, 15, 25, 30, 35, 40.
Sure. Yep.
Because
Fine.
it has 40 move speed. And
Yep.
I bonus action Shillelagh on myself, and I'll take the attack action and make 2 attacks
Do it up.
on the here.
New attacks.
And wait, I have advantage. It's a flank. Alright. So does 24 hit?
24 hits. Yep.
Alright.
Big meaty dinosaur.
And I'll favorite foe, so an extra d4 damage at 10 plus, so 11 points of the damage. And roll for the second attack. And 24 to hit again.
Uh-huh.
So damage is 6.
So you're coming up to this thing and you're just like hacking into its leg.
Yeah.
Just- and there's. It's funny when you're cutting into it and you saw
The
Duke
shillelagh's a
punch
club.
it.
He's just beating on it.
When you're beating on
Yeah.
it, just like when Duke was punching it, it's like cracking inwards, and as opposed to like blood coming out of it, and everything that's been hit, even when Razier was shooting it with Eldritch Blast, the shoulder bit that got blown off the side, there's not red liquid coming down. There's like a black ichor on the inside of this thing that is now oozing out of all the wounds that are coming out of it.
We're gonna turn
It
into
fell in the
mutants
lake.
again.
Just saying. Is that on your turn, or are you doing something
Yep.
else?
It
Okay.
does.
Zanladir's up. What should Zanladir do?
The only
Um,
useful thing he can do.
Which is
Haste
cast
on
hit.
Drell.
He sure. What's the range
Power
on haste?
skill.
But I think it's 30
Jill.
feet though. Yeah, so
Yeah.
you need to move in the range of the T-Rex.
Ever?
He can slide over the. Wait a second.
Because it has reach, you said.
10. It actually he can slide over the top of the sarcophagus.
yeah.
And be out of range, alright.
He's
Yeah,
gonna move
plus
over here.
10.
Yeah,
Is
he
its
can.
range?
He can do that. And
Gross.
he casts. What's gross?
The range of the T-Rex.
Yeah, it's pretty insane. Yeah, he can do it without taking attack of opportunity from the T-Rex. He's going to cast haste on throw.
And an extra 5 feet this way
What do you mean?
Oh yeah, it is.
for the reach of the T-Rex. Yeah.
Oh look,
That's why I kept
what's
him-
in range.
Yes, that's it. That's its range right there. Uh huh.
Yeah.
Uh huh. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, sure.
But it only gets 2 attacks per turn though. It's probably gonna
Yeah,
be dead.
but those attacks do what was it?
Only 2
20.
people.
I hope
20
you
something
I
points
hope
of
you all
damage?
roll nat 1 so it gets to go at least one more time before it's dead.
Been doing that, so you know.
That's at the end of Xanladir's turn. Thrall, you are hasted.
What does that mean?
You get an extra attack action
Sure attack.
and
Oh
double
my
your movement
god!
speed.
I
Wait,
wish I
extra
had a
action.
revolver right now.
You get 1 extra action if you choose to attack with it. You get 1 attack. You can do other things with it as well, though.
I can't.
Yeah, and it gives you a bonus to AC and to attacks.
Movement.
Yeah,
This song
So-
is
yeah
awesome.
movement, it doubles his
It's-
movement. Yeah.
It's not just a whole extra action. It's just a whole extra
No.
attack.
No, it's
Yeah.
an extra action, but you can't cast spells with it. And if you take the attack action, it's only 1 attack instead of 2.
Yeah, but you could like
So you can attack
dash
3
disengage
times.
and stuff with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you get your speed is doubled, +2 to AC, advantage on dexterity saving throw, additional action on each of its turn. That action can be used to take the attack, only 1 weapon attack, dash, disengage, hide, or
Yeah.
use an object.
I think Donnie's just gonna attack 3 times in a row.
Yeah.
You should be.
Or
You should just roll.
attack
What
5 times in a row.
do you mean?
Because action surge.
Oh. Well,
Whip.
Does 15 hit?
it does. This thing's gonna die, for sure. It's gonna die.
Cool. That was
It's not.
one
It's
action.
not dead yet. Hold on. So 20 damage and then 10, right? So 30
Uh huh.
for 2. That's
Take
2
care.
arrows.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Your hasted attack.
Haste attack.
Unless you want to do something else with it.
14 hits. That's the 3rd attack. That's 11
New
damage.
time.
Still alive?
It is still alive.
That's a shame.
You're dead.
Action surge.
This is what his ranger was meant to do. 8 damage.
Pew, 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 pew. I'm using my feet to re-roll that last attack. Pew, pew, pew.
Okay. Okay.
51 damage.
How do you want to do this?
Machine gun into its face.
That's
So
crazy.
you just so Thrall's there, and she's like getting out arrows and stuff. And then Xandula comes over and he's like, "Don't worry, I got the cast haste." And it's like, "Oh, okay." You just see a blur of a hand going. Arrows come just shotgunning out of this temporal blur into the T-Rex's skull.
Yep. It had 51 HP.
And you just total?
Wow.
Yeah. Had
It had
51.
51 total.
Well,
left.
current left.
Okay.
And he did 51 points
Did
of damage.
exactly 51.
Yeah.
That
That's
reroll,
hilarious.
Donnie. It's the reroll.
Reroll.
Uh-huh.
Exactly.
I love you,
Uh-huh.
reroll.
That's why I was like, I was like, oh, cool, it's gonna survive. And you're like, I re-roll using my feet. I'm like, crap. And then you did.
He rolled exactly
Oh my
what he
gosh.
needed to kill
Uh
him.
huh.
Exactly
Arrows to make?
51.
That was
That's fucking crazy.
my plan was
Oh,
to
oh.
I used what?
my
Fire
plan was to web his feet and then drop on top of him, so he couldn't attack me at all, and he wouldn't be able to swing his tail. Just keep biting him till he died. Would be a spider and just drop on his back to where he can't. His little hands, you know.
Well.
I blew him up instead.
So
Bleeded a T-Rex.
you guys are all like
Anyways.
blasting it, hitting it with weapons. It's getting like crunched, and there's like black ichor pouring out of the sides of it. And all of a sudden, you just hear like the sound. It's not the Skyrim sound. What's the sound? What's a video game that has a ridiculous bow sound that you're used to hearing? And it's just like, and just he's yeah. Anyways, burst firing it with arrows, and it just all gets hit all over it, and it's like
Burst mode.
falls, and it is indeed
Gun.
it is dead.
Dead.
I feel like this was deserving
So we
of
level
the
up.
song.
We
No,
level
stop.
up now? We
No.
level up, right?
So then I'd like to just
No, we have to.
trot over and
Congrats,
We
everyone.
have to long
Leveled
rest
up.
first.
get all my.
It was only a
uh,
T-Rex that you guys killed in 2 rounds. Not
Oh.
even.
Old T-Rex.
It is
Then
lying
they're
on.
almost out.
Yeah, oh, come on. It took 24 HP. It attacked. It hit you, one of you, one time. You guys got to beat this thing into the ground.
I got domed.
And it just further reinforces, except for with the Cerberoth fight, that this CR doesn't mean a gosh darn thing.
Yeah, no, CR is well.
Literally,
I mean, CR is
it's
made
action
for
economy
a group of
and
4.
yeah,
It's made
I
for a
know.
group of 4 as well.
I'm
There's
aware.
6 of us.
I know.
6 and a half.
I know. I designed this encounter months ago, so it doesn't. It's fine. When you guys were like
So
level
you
3,
are prepared.
What a prepared lad.
it's all an illusion. I'm a master illusionist.
Oh no, my immersion.
Just to make sure that I say it, I'm going to use my bonus action to do a psychic recovery, and then I'm going to recover half my arrows, as per usual.
Okay.
I walk
Quiet
over
work.
to Xander,
That's going away.
and my hands begin to glow, and I cast Cure Wounds on him.
And it wasn't even the teeth that bit you or anything. It was the tail that came across and like
Yeah.
it's absolutely like you need a chiropractor now, obviously. Smashed you into that display table on the side of the door there, but the dinosaur is laying on the ground, just dead on the ground there, and it's
Cool.
um
Hey, you should skin it for those pelts you need.
It doesn't look like it's got no kind of pelt. It looks unnatural.
Nah,
That was falling apart when we were hitting it.
Yeah, so what does it look like now? Like,
right.
is it...
So upon closer investigation, it isn't that parts of it are rotting necessarily, but Razir and Duke, Razir and Duke, this was an undead T-Rex. It was brought back to life for whatever purpose. You gather it has several like incisions along its stomach, and it were sewed back up or healed improperly, so it has like almost like this like lightning bolt kind of like scar situation coming down the bottom, which undead
The
doesn't.
dino who lived?
So, you kind of gather the fact that perhaps it was on display in the museum, and it was where the bloodstain was on that raised section. It was, in fact, it's funny because this is a display of means of travel throughout history, and they were displaying a T-Rex as a means of travel. Mm-hmm.
They're just like the lizard men in
Alright,
Warhammer.
but there's still bones and stuff, right?
Inside the dinosaur, you mean?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
I mean, Xander's trying to collect teeth and claws and like he's.
It's gonna take you a bit to get through this thing, but sure, if you want to. And it's real gross.
T-Rex teeth and turn it into like a short sword.
Actually, I wouldn't mind getting a bone staff.
but all the bones would have fossilized by now. They're just rocks.
Depends on how long ago or when it
Yeah,
was.
and
It's a
technically,
T-Rex, yeah.
but dude,
Get outta
T-Rex,
here.
Man, it's
No, but-
Earl Donnie.
yeah, and Donnie, I mean, just like in Faerun, there's a whole island with dinosaurs running around. So maybe that's the case over here as well.
Well, fossilized.
funny.
No, these bones aren't fossilized. The fossil is when it's surrounded by silt and sediment and it's pressed down. The bone itself is preserved underneath that layer of sediment.
No,
So,
but
the
if you go to a
bone is
museum
a
and you look at a
fossil.
dinosaur skeleton, it's a fossil.
Yeah, altogether.
Can-
But if you pull
can
one
we-
bone, it's just a bone.
Can we?
Yeah, but it's a bone that's been fossilized.
No, we have to debate this, Tim.
Can we? Can we
Really
So it's
important.
rock.
This is important.
hey,
Be quiet, DM. We're talking about fossils here.
Let me talk about my rocks.
I'm the geology major.
oh man.
And,
I'm the guy who dropped out of that.
Yeah, I mean, I'll.
Go ahead and make either a medicine or a nature check, and this is going to be to remove bones
Plus
and or teeth
11.
and or other things.
He has plus 11 on nature, Tim.
No way, dude. Like, I couldn't have rolled any worse. I got a 3. It's a 14 total.
Okay. You recover 4 usable dinosaur T-Rex teeth. You can pick 1 bone out of it that is salvageable.
Okay.
Leg
A
bone,
giant
obviously.
femur, and you just hit me.
No,
Yeah, I was
is
gonna
the
say-
spine
I was gonna say
considered
club.
one bone. Or...
T-Rexes have
Johnny,
like
you're
claws, right?
Quiet.
Yes.
Yeah, they do.
That's a, I don't know.
You have tiny
it's a-
claws on their I believe it's 2 claws on their
Bring it
hands
up.
and
Not in, up. Not up, in.
Wah,
Oh.
wah, 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 wah.
I mean, I can hear everybody perfectly fine.
So I have 4 teeth. 1.
Well, choose what bone it is that you're retrieving now, so you can make not just a T-Rex bone and then make up what it is later. What is it now? And don't you just
Final.
think about
does
it.
the skull count as 1 bone? Or...
Technically, yes.
You how you gonna? You can't. No. No, that's not.
Right
Rolling
there.
around a giant
Heart
skull.
right there.
It's
femur.
it's like 500 pounds and it would take you like 4 hours to carve this thing out of.
Right there.
You
Femur
said
would
one
be
bone,
harder.
bro.
There is a cart.
there.
There is a cart right there.
Go, free cart.
It may be ancient in nature, but there's a cart right there. Absolutely.
I mean,
cart-
how
Wait,
will
wait,
we
wait,
get the
wait.
cart
Alright,
out
what
of
else,
here?
what else
Let's-
do I get? What else do I get?
There are 3 usable claws.
Okay. Wait, guys, does this count as like? Will I get my soul taken?
Yes.
Not if you kill him.
No way to knowing.
This is a simple beast. This is not going to. This will not be anything.
It might be. It looks like it was at one point at the museum.
Okay.
But keep in mind, if Mr. Vudos back over there is to be trusted, he did say that should we free him from his jar, he would intervene on behalf of us with his master, and we could take things from here. So we can collect a pile of things we want to take, and then see if we're gonna leave with them.
Well, I'll put them by the door. So,
So okay, Louise, with your passive perception, right, as Xander is painstakingly taking everyone's time carving apart this dinosaur, I'm gonna say, it's a giant dinosaur, right? This takes a minimum of 30 minutes, minimum.
That's
To
It's
carve-
not just like falling apart soup, and it's just like that's the
No.
only hard parts of it.
No.
Just take it out and just
No,
grill it.
no.
Okay.
I also need to know right now which bone you're taking, right now.
well, my first thought was femur, but femur's way too big. I mean, I don't. A claw bone, I guess. Like not a claw, but
A knuckle bone? A phalange?
Yeah, like a phalange, a tarsal, something like that.
Okay. So
Maybe the
mark
arm?
that down specifically. Louise, with your 25 passive perception, as he's making doing the process of the removal. So this removal probably only takes like maybe 10 minutes then, if that's the case. All this said, that's pretty easy by comparison. I didn't know what you were going to take. Watching it, you see that there are other incisions that have been made on this dinosaur before, not just on the underside of the stomach, but on the head. Like it looks like one of the eyes is a different color than the other. It looks like there are only a few claws left on one of its feet. This thing's been dissected and put back together numerous times. You don't know why or how. It's kind of like a head scratcher, like what the heck. But that's what you just watching it happen. You can see various scars that have healed, which undead don't really heal. Kind of. Razir, you kind of have a moment of this is interesting. That's about it.
Why? I'm not undead. Why would I know about this?
I didn't say that. I just said you find it interesting.
I just realized The T-Rex is undead. Razir is undead. The T-Rex
No,
was
not.
displayed as a mount. It was Razir's mount before he died.
You've learned my backstory.
This is amazing. Okay.
All of a sudden, Razir's like,
Just came
He
in.
just thinks a giant boat.
Okay. So there's lots and lots of things in this room. Now that you've kind of like taken a lay of the land, and while Xander is doing his process of extracting the particular bone that he's looking for, there are a plethora of paintings on the right-hand side. There is a door on the right-hand side that is in between two of the largest paintings, which you can clearly see it by the map. There is a door. Across from that door, there's a carpet that kind of runs through, kind of like guiding people in a particular direction. You can see above, at the top of this portion of the building at the back, there's a hole in the top of the mountain, which when walking over to what looks like a massive crater in the ground, and I'll explain that a little bit more in a second here, and looking up, you can see it looks like a meteor or something fell from the sky, punctured through the mountain, and just so happened to intersect with the back of the museum and continued further down in the mountain. And where the trail of this thing that fell left behind these perfectly crafted or shaped onyx-like material that is protruding as crystals from the edges of this hole that traversed down. Across from this chasm, or well, it's not really a chasm, it's just a giant hole in the ground. This may be like, I don't know, 20 by 15 approximately. There is a door, and it like just so happened to miss the door, so that you'd have to try and jump across or whatever to get to this door that's across it. Isn't that convenient? Dungeon design. Anyways, looking downwards, it's almost like there's this eerie, inky cloudiness that's like preventing you from seeing all the way down. But as you're looking at it, I'm assuming people are looking throughout the room and investigating things. I'm just explaining. So you go over and you look down, and it's like the smoke is like moving slightly, and you can see way down, like maybe another 80 feet or so. Maybe, yeah, approximately. There's like it continues downwards, like puncturing through the mountain, and there's a staircase that's broken in the middle about 80 feet down on a diagonal. That you can see like the bits of stairs that are broken apart that are heading down about 80 feet down. Around the room, there are 5 other sarcophaguses with statues, various sizes and makes. They look like different people. And then there's all the paintings that are around here and the 2 doors across from each other. Looking
Can you
over.
describe every single painting, please?
Actually, I can.
I do it. I knew that one of us would ask that, so you made sure to get all of them ready.
And he says he's not a prepared DM.
Yeah.
Well,
I do want to.
It depends on what we're talking about.
I do want to at some point go over to Zanladir and be like, so we came here for some kind of travel thing. It wasn't any of this stuff, right? You said it was like way back farther that we're looking for. You weren't talking about this big old beast, right? Kind of with a half-cocked smirk on my face.
Well, the Rising Requiem was the museum primarily dedicated towards travel, and that's why it's part of my research led me here in the first place. I had no idea what was in the Requiem apart from what we're looking for, which isn't here. It's further down. I had no idea there was some kind of ancient lizard roaming the halls, although this one looks like it's seen better days. Hey, Xander?
Yeah, it stinks. Keep digging.
And there are other, doorways and hallways and storage rooms and things, but the primary focus is getting further down. This strange material growing out of the sides of the walls of whatever this puncture is in the top of the museum is curious. I can't say I haven't seen it before, but I don't know how to extract it. I think it's extremely rare, and I've heard it referred to as onyx.
Don't we have the hammer of a guy who was named Onyx Digger?
Oh,
Yeah. That statue right over there. Also, we came across something outside of Beacon, and I'm going to pull out the big onyx spike that I have.
ah. Well, I don't know much about onyx. Actually, I am going to roll for Zanladir on this.
I'm mainly pulling out the thing to
No,
compare it to.
I know
stuff on the wall.
exactly. Oh, you're not showing it to him specifically?
I might pull it out when he mentions it, and kind of like as I'm walking over to the pit to look at it, I would pull it out to look at it and like compare it and see if it's the same stuff.
Okay.
Not necessarily be like, hey, look at this. But
So you pull it out and you kind of walk over, and he like points at it as you're like walking away from him, basically over to he's standing kind of close to it, and you hold it up next to the rest of the stuff. Right. You had some of it before. That's very interesting. And then turns to Louise, who mentions did you actually say that about the onyx digger? I'm assuming you did, right?
Yeah.
Right. That makes a lot of sense. Seems like some things in here are lining up perfectly. Yeah, I don't really know much about onyx. I just know that on the black market or whatever there's an underground trading district that operates, despite the fact that we're in this crazy world that we find ourselves, but mostly within, Islas Narian and a couple of the biggest cities. And I've dabbled in it a bit, but onyx is one of their primary things they trade in. That's about all I know. I've never really had my hands on any of it, but I've heard it's very valuable. You holding up the long section that you have up against the wall, it looks like a thinner version of one of these crystals, just that are looks like they're naturally growing out of the wall around the kind of cylindrical kind of section. That's
hey Freckles, you got that hammer from Onyx Digger?
Yeah. What about it?
Well, it's magical of some sort, so maybe it's made to break apart these here crystals. You want to give it a little tap, see if it reacts at all?
Oh, okay. That seems like a good idea.
Well, actually, now that I say it out loud, maybe we don't want to go messing with the fancy rocks right now. I'll let you decide. You got the hammer on your person. Check it out now, or we can come back to it.
Are there any sections of the onyx that maybe are loose and on the ground, or is it all just stuck in the wall kind of thing?
I'm not going to make you roll for it. It looks like all of it is growing out of the walls naturally, and nothing at all was broken. There is not even dust on the ground around the hole. It isn't like whatever crashed down here broke off into crystals in the wall. It looks like whatever it was crashed through and then caused crystals to grow out of the wall. So no, there is no debris around of onyx.
I'd like to take the hammer, go over to if there's a section in the hole where I can safely give it a good whack onto one of the crystals.
You're using the hammer?
Yeah, with the hammer.
Okay. Closest crystal isn't too far down. It's a few feet. However, you'd have to, unless you're using a rope, you'd have to stand on the crystal to hit it. So you have to rappel down a little bit and kind of whack it if you want to. If somebody's holding the rope on the other side, that's up to you.
I could be holding the rope with my bear.
Okay. All right.
I have plenty of rope. I'll tie it to one of the statues.
I mean, you've got Louise and the bear holding on to one side, but
it would make more sense to have a fixed object hold on to it rather than.
There's no Iron Team. Stop being an anti-team. Just let them hold the gosh darn rope and go down the stupid hole.
Drop it.
Okay. All right. So you start.
You know what? Now we're gonna drop
it's
you.
Just. It's like.
Whoops.
It's a few feet down. It just was too far for you to lean over the edge and hit it. So you rappel down slightly and you tink, and it spider webs up the onyx stone.
Like crack spider webs.
It cracks. It doesn't.
Like when
Nothing
you hit a
breaks.
windshield and it goes.
Correct. The whole entire thing cracks up the spike.
Wait,
Like,
How do we know
that
that's-
hard?
how do we know that the hammer is just not onyx? Is that soft?
Right, give it a whack with something else. It ain't the hammer.
Okay, I'll put the hammer away, use my hand axe, and hit a different unaffected crystal.
Which hand axe are you using?
My hand axe?
Your hand axe.
Yes.
It's a normal one.
Normal, nothing
Like,
special.
you gonna hit it with the back, or you're gonna break your blade on that thing?
Are you trying to hit it hard enough to break the crystal?
No, because the normal, when I used the hammer, it was a medium level tink.
So that's the same level that you're
So I
using
would
with your
use
hand
the
axe.
same
Gotcha.
measure of force.
Dink. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Not even a scuff.
Yeah, I think the hammer's designed to smash this stuff.
Right, well, it looks like that guy was named correctly.
Yeah, that makes sense. Hey, Razir, I pull Trell up, and whilst I'm doing that, I'd ask Razir, is there any other magical stuff in the those sarcophagi?
Let me give a look. Detect magic. All over the room. Everywhere.
Okay. So you pop up detect magic, and you just kind of do a once over the
Yep.
room. Blah blah blah. 30 feet. Oh. Okay. So when you walk over to the left hand door. Okay, so first of all, the only thing in this room that emanates a magical aura is the small stone platform that has the models on it. Not the one that has the cart, but the one that has the 3 models. The ship with the... Anyways, I don't have to fully describe them again. The models. There's something magical about that. That's giving off a glow, and the models themselves have a glow around them. The left-hand door, when you're walking past it, inside of that left-hand door, there's all kinds of magical stuff on the inside of it. But you can't pinpoint because you can't see it. Huh.
Sorry.
My
dad made me move my car.
That's okay. So the onyx itself doesn't give off a magical aura because it's not magical, but it lights up when using your detect magic, which is interesting because there's no school associated with it. It's almost like the stone is magic, but there isn't a school associated with it, and that is nothing like you've ever sensed or seen before. Because you hadn't used detect magic before, even when using having the little spike thing that you guys found. So,
Yeah, I was never paying attention to my own backpack.
well, you weren't level 5, I don't think. You didn't have, or
Also that.
yeah.
I mean, just earlier in the day. Right, so there's that pedestal with them ships on its magic. There's magic through that door over there. A lot of it. And these crystals are... just to make sure that you two book smart guys know, pointing to Xander and Zanladir, them crystals are some kind of weird magic of some sort. Like, they ain't normal magic, but like they're kind of not magic, but they're magical, and
which is
something like that.
which is interesting, especially for Xander specifically, because you're watching Threll use a hammer to spider crack one of these crystals, and Razir is referring to it as magic. And magical items typically aren't just broken, especially with a light little dink with a hammer. So that's interesting.
It's like
Magic designed to break
it's
it.
like magic solidified, like the essence of magic.
Who knows? It could be something. It doesn't match up with any other kind of magic that I've seen, but it's got acting like it's magic. I'm not
Perhaps
sure.
something in this museum will explain things further. I mean, if this
Whatever's
onyx
at the bottom of that
figure
hole.
person, is entombed here, perhaps there is some insight as to
And
this onyx in general.
before we keep going, Tim, you did say like the table with the model ship was magical as well. Well, there was magic coming from there as well.
Correct. I mean, you guys are in the room. There's no threat right now, so you guys go over and you see it, and there is it's an illusion, or at least you think it's an illusion, because when you put your hand out, they are intangible. Your hand goes right through the ship. There's something causing it to, maybe it's a programmed illusion, but you can't tell where it's coming from. But there's like a little ship, and they're kind of rotating around each other on this platform. There's a regular boat, which people have seen boats with like it has two masts with sails on it. The next one looks similar. It's a little bit larger, and there are sails that have some kind of orangey pink material that kind of shines with any kind of light shown on it. And there are some crystals that look like they're undulating on the deck of this. I mean, there's little models ship. And the next one, for people from a fantasy world who don't know what they're looking at, it is a piece of metal that looks like you can look in. There's like a bit of it that looks like glass, and looking inside, you can see tiny little seats. And there's a bit of metal that has a bunch of like lit up green and blue lights that are just flashing on the inside of it. And there looks like there's tubes of some kind or something that are kind of like strung along the back of it that go towards the back. And on the back, there's this giant like glowy light thing that's flashing off the back of it. And it's just like moving. There's no sound coming from them. There's no people on the inside. It's like models, obviously. But it looks like, as it's been shown, and if you examine the paintings, you will see perhaps a further explanation of what's being shown here. But it is means of travel that are being displayed. And not knowing what this metal device is, of course, I think everybody who's hearing my description and seeing what's there, it's like, is he really putting spaceships in our fantasy game right now? Donnie is super excited right now, but everybody else is like, what's happening? Is this really happening? Yes, it is happening. Yes, it is happening.
Donnie's got to get a rig on.
But none of you know what this is. You have no idea what this is.
If that was shrunken
Bro.
down,
I mean,
expanded, you can fly around the galaxy.
through the process of, I don't even. Would you?
In the sewers underneath.
We're always gonna take it like a Millennium Falcon, like a Lego one.
In the sewers underneath Beacon, Razier, upon examining the items inside of the closets in the sewer before you guys all jumped inside, excuse me, there was a helmet that had a light on it. There was a painstakingly described rope that wasn't a rope. It was a hose. And there was before we arrived at the conclusion, I thought that was funny. And then there was a some kind of gun-looking device that had these little cartridges that fit inside of it that did things. You guys didn't ever do anything with those. You didn't further investigate, but that seemed like
Didn't have a chance to further investigate.
things. That's true. But there were things that were outside of the realm of what you've seen thus far. Even Razier.
I mean, with the assumption of you see the cart and then you see these models, and one of them seems to be more advanced than the next, the characters can assume that it's some form of travel we're not familiar with.
Correct. Right. I mean, that's you could certainly. Okay. So if you'd like,
It's boat shaped, so it does something. It moves.
it's moving with
Would
the
it-
other ships that are here. It's
Yeah,
like it's implying that it's a ship without without you knowing what kind of ship it is.
Are we all
We
just
know.
staring at it? Like we're all in a circle,
Everybody's just kinda
looking
standing
at it?
Everyone's around the table. Just
Would it
Now-
would it be good for the trade business, though?
I'm guessing like
Maybe.
the energy they need would be kind of like bad for the environment, something like that.
The thing is that even in this world, skyships don't exist. You've heard of them. You know that they used to exist. So you recognize, like, most of you probably have, like, heard of skyships. And you're like, oh, that's probably a skyship, right? But you've never seen one. They're not flying around anywhere. You don't even know if Alice Narian has any of them at all.
Just know that it's a boat that can somehow magically fly.
That it existed in
we got.
with your forefathers in the bygone days. But this is proving evidence that so would you like some explanation as to what the statues have to say, and also as far as the paintings? I don't want to do a giant lore dump, but I would like to explain what's here, or we can move on with that next session. That's up to you.
I'd like to generally know what the paintings just are of real quick.
Where do you want to start? Statues or paintings?
Xander will know everything. He wants to know everything. But I understand.
Okay.
If
Who's
we
taking
don't want
who's
it.
taking notes?
Taking some notes.
Okay.
Give me one sec. Okay.
All right, we're gonna start with the let's start with the paintings, because you guys are all just looking at them, right? This is from left to right, all the wraps all the way around the right hand side of the room here. I'm not going to give you a full description, just a brief synopsis. And all it really is, I could literally summarize the entire thing by saying it is a journey through the various means of travel as technology has improved throughout the ages. So the first painting depicts the early days of hiking through mountains and adventure, everything being accomplished on foot. And then the next couple of paintings reference upgrading to beasts of burden and realizing that the wheel was invented and carts and hauling things around became easier and longer journeys became possible. And then along with these paintings are ships, some of them being means of travel augmented with magic here and there, and it eventually progresses to a point where it feels like what the modern day should look like, at least to you. The next paintings detail further advances in technology, clockwork machines being used as workhorses, and eventually the people learning how to use them for other means like defending strongholds. Arcane technology is depicted as being at an all-time high, using this perhaps steampunk level, which is that's not a word used in the fantasy world, but for you guys, that's kind of like the visage people on flying machines, things that you've never seen before, technologies that don't even make sense looking at them, but they're maybe somebody's fantastical version of what this should be. It then moves on to skyscapes filled with what looks like normal ships, but with sails located on the sides and large gems affixed underneath and on top of. These ships appear to be painted as if flying through the sky. Again, skyships that you've heard of but never seen. Then the paintings show of visitors arriving from a faraway place and offering something new. The last images on the final paintings show a strange-looking elf holding out one hand to a kneeling king while pointing the other up into a starry sky. And the caption, the only caption under this particular picture, is "The only limit to exploration is your own imagination."
What does this elf look like?
So we're changing to Starfinder. Is that what?
Excellent.
Oh man, I'm so glad that you caught on to that and said that immediately as soon as no, we're not switching to Starfinder.
Well, one more time. The only limit to our
The only limit to exploration is your own imagination.
Imagination's your limitation. Come on, Bobby, let's go back.
And then, so what does this elf look like?
The elf is only in one of the images is the face not obscured. All the other ones, it's facing away from the painter and looking up into the stars. It looks like a normal elf, except for the features are slightly exaggerated. The ears are a bit longer. The chin juts out slightly longer than elves are a commonplace in Novus and,
It's
all around.
racist depiction.
That's funny. And it's not funny at all, actually, but nope.
Okay. It's hilarious. Get out of here.
No, it looks like either an artist's rendition. Everything else thus far, it looks like it's been painted by the same artist that was designed for this museum specifically, and nothing has been inaccurate. Nothing has been. It's been maybe their interpretation of certain things, but nothing has been obtuse or sized incorrectly as far as various details. Just a fantastical, painting. The fact that these features are accentuated is a little off-putting because you've never seen an elf that looks like this before.
That's why the character would think that it's a bad rendering.
Could be. Or perhaps it's an elf from, I literally is described as being an elf from somewhere far away. So this is the visitor that was visiting and offering something, and then offering something in relation, and this is being provided as information in relation to the advancement of technology and travel, pointing to the stars, and then the caption, "The only limit to exploration is your imagination." So you can put the pieces together yourself.
In the painting where he's offering his hand, it's an empty hand, right?
Correct.
Yeah,
Yes.
so he's
There's a king kneeling on the ground. There's a queen. There's a castle in the background, and it's a starry night sky. They're up on a hill, and the elf has one hand downwards and is looking up and kind of motioning up towards the sky.
Is that
Like come with me, I'll take you. Whatever. Blah blah blah.
yeah.
is the elf wearing a hood? Is it wearing a robe, hooded robe?
There's no hood. Nope, no hood. Just
Alright.
the clothing does look
Familiar to me?
no. Well, make a history check.
Okay.
I gotta get
This
going
is-
in a few minutes here.
Nat
Just an
one.
FYI.
Do you?
Yeah, I do.
Awful. That one.
Natural one. Well, it's a skill check, and you still rolled a 12 because your minimum is your minimum is a 12. You've seen this kind of outfit before, but you can't put your finger on it exactly.
I think I can.
Alex, Jason said that he stopped his need for a cap of 11 going forward.
Okay. I was not aware, but I will in the future then make more time for this.
Okay. It's not like I'm looking to push midnight every time we play, but I'm just gonna. That's why I didn't end it at 11. I'm just being a little loose. I can go back to my normal ways of just kind of being a little. We can end at 10:45. We can end at 11:30. Whatever makes sense. So as you guys are examining this, I just want to give you the information for the statues, so that whoever's recording information can do so, and then we can move on with. We can effectively end the session and then pick back up with all this lore. You guys can have all the discussions and whatnot, but it's a pretty big deal seeing these paintings, the models that are here. Maybe not to you guys, but in general.
How many statues are there?
There are 6. There's 6 of them, not 7. There's not 7. There's 6.
What?
Maybe there was a 7th one that got destroyed by the meteor thing that came. You don't know. Okay,
The whole
from left to right.
Standing in front of the doors.
Yeah,
I don't think so.
The door.
From maybe it was 10, 20 feet in front of the door. You don't know. From left to right, there was the dwarf that fell into the cavern thing that you guys were in. I already gave you the caption for that. The second is a very well-made lizard folk, and the name is Salamundo. Or in quotations, the salamander. That's not racist at all. There's a lizard folk called the salamander. Okay. And the caption reads, mighty fighter and trap setter who aided in slaying Octavia. So now you're getting into, I think Octavia was the first Titan that attacked. So now you're literally, referencing things from the beginning of the second apocalypse.
One more time with the inscription. Mighty.
The mighty fighter who and trap setter who aided in slaying Octavia. Let me know when you're ready for the third. Okay. The third, an elf, poised in a gracious, stern-looking face with a hood pulled over and a scythe in front of them, kind of like held at the ready. It's an elf, as I mentioned, labeled Vudos Gray.
Oh!
And the
Gray?
Vudos Gray, yes. And the caption reads, Necromancer turned friend of the people who raised an army in the early days to aid in defeating Myriad.
Oh. I remember that one.
And if you do your lore research and the lore documents from the...
about to go back and do that.
Yeah, this is major stuff here. Okay, the fourth statue is a gnome with an open book and their head kind of turned up towards the stars, long hair kind of flowing back, and a robe, very fine robe and a necklace kind of hanging around. These are big stone statues, but that's the detail you get from this. The name, the plaque, Jupiter Keepdown, expert on celestial bodies. Predicted the Titan's arrival, but no one believed him. Shunned until his expertise proved invaluable, but the information was accepted too late. Devout member of the Solaris Starborn Revival.
Where you see them now? Yeah, it's one of the super soldiers.
Would you like me to reread that?
That sounds like a band.
Please.
Solaris Starborn Survival.
It's amazing.
Like Creedence
what it
Clearwater
is.
Revival.
It's freaking amazing.
Guys, you know there was the 5 super soldiers. That's one of them.
He's one of them. Yep.
Yeah.
Would you like me to reread the whole thing, or are you good?
Yeah, one more time.
Okay.
Expert on celestial bodies.
Expert on celestial bodies predicted the Titan's arrival, but no one believed him. Shunned until his expertise proved invaluable, but the information was accepted too late. And devout member of the Solaris Starborn Revival. And yes, this is Jupiter Keepdown. The fifth.
No, wait. Good enough.
Okay. The fifth is a satyr. And by that, I mean a creature that none of you have ever seen before. But I don't have to give you a description now that I've said it's a satyr, because you know what a satyr looks like. But your characters have never seen one before. Never seen one before. Not even history books. Not in
Some with
lore.
a goat horns.
Mm-hmm. The name...
All right, I gotta go.
Okay. Well, thanks for hanging out.
Stabbed to death. Yeah,
I'll
I'm
see
sorry.
you.
I will make more time from now on, since I know that we don't have a hard cap anymore.
It's all good. See you next week.
See you next
All right,
week.
bye guys.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye.
The name is Fioris, Feoras. Crucial in the evacuation of thousands to the Feywild. Prime sealer of the realm gates.
Ooh.
And the sixth.
Oh, wait.
Donnie, you taking notes? I feel like everyone's taking notes right now. This is
Crucial in the evacuation of Feywild. What was it? The
crucial in the
Creator?
evacuation of thousands to the Feywild. Prime sealer of the realm gates. Which
That has
you
something to do with that demon guy from earlier.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking as well.
we're gonna in the next bit. Well, actually, no. Yeah, I was gonna say in the next little bit, there's gonna be some stuff revealed, but this is just the beginning. I'm laying the groundwork for some really super far-reaching things
Oh,
that I
yeah.
can use later down. This is big campaign level stuff that I'm laying the groundwork for here. Hopefully, we get there someday.
And he claims he's not a prepared DM.
It's a good thing you didn't say 7.
I didn't. I specifically I toyed around with making it 7, and I was like, you know what? It's too cliche. I've made too many 7 things that are 7. But I'll make other things in this game that are 7. It's fine. Okay.
Are they called like the Mighty 7?
Nope.
That's funny.
Nope. Okay. The 6th is a blank humanoid form that is bald, that is not wearing armor. It is just a humanoid form, genderless, just statue, not holding any items, arms crossed in front of them, like hands clasped, kind of just regular stance.
Dr.
And
Manhattan.
And the caption underneath reads, "To all those that fight to keep what remains of their families alive, you are never forgotten. May your desire never be to forsake the many in favor of saving the few, as was the fault of our forefathers."
All right, what came after Forgotten?
You forgot?
Just reread it, please.
To all those that fight to keep what remains of their families alive, you are never forgotten. May your desire never be to forsake the many in favor of saving the few, as was the fault of our forefathers.
Never forsake the many to save the few.
May your desire never be to forsake the many in favor of saving the few, as was the fault of our forefathers. Let me just copy paste all this right here real quick.
That'd be so much easier.
It'd just be great if you put
Yeah, but
all
I
these
want to
things
read it out
in
loud to you
Word
and not.
That's cool, but then you can also paste it. You can do both things.
Both things.
Both things.
What if you just put all of these sweet, juicy lore bits into the journal under lore bits?
When did you copy paste this to me, Jason? Oh, 2 minutes ago. Okay, never mind. I didn't say anything. Nobody heard anything.
Yes.
So, you guys
there's
want to
a-
break open these coffins real quick and start stealing stuff?
There wasn't
Um,
anything magical in those.
Correct.
You want to take
Um,
the corpses so the guys can revive them?
We could do that actually.
I feel like there's.
Seems like a great idea.
I feel like there's a good amount of.
I feel like they're gonna come in and do it anyway.
That's true. We can just tell them they're here. I don't want to carry them out.
So the means of egress out of this room, we're not going to continue necessarily, but just so that you have it in mind for next time, the means of egress out of this room are across the crystal puncture in the top of the museum and the double door way across from it that's closed. All the doors are closed. There's the the west door, which was where all the Razir sensed all the magical stuff was behind it. And then there's the east, the right door, in between the two giant paintings that are there. This was... It was a massive lore dump without it being a massive lore
That was great.
dump.
No, that was dope. I love that.
Um,
I mean, I love that.